Hi guys. How are you, Kelly?
Uh-oh. Is it you I can't hear, or is it my volume that's down?
It might be just my mic. It's
There we
cranky
go.
the first time I speak.
Yeah, now I can hear you. Hello.
Yeah, it's only a Zoom thing. I don't understand it.
Speaking of, can you hear me okay
Mhm.
all the time?
Yeah, I think so.
Have you ever listened to my YouTube? Didn't you listen to my meditation? Could you hear that okay?
I don't remember the meditation. I'd have to listen to that one again. YouTube, I don't remember having any problems.
Okay. One of my friends, Brinley, said that she couldn't hear it very well, but I know sometimes she can't hear things as well, which means it's good for me to adjust it for her.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to go back and think of this, like watch and listen with that in mind. It's just been so long since I've listened to the meditation that I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I don't remember anything standing out from the videos of like hey, I can't hear her, because I feel like I would just tell you I can't hear you.
Also, when I listen to it, it sounds fine. I almost thought it was too loud, but I didn't say that.
That's fair. I wouldn't say that. Oh, hi Anna, how are you? Hi Kelsey. I can't hear you, Anna. Nothing. No. No. I wonder if I can. No, I don't see anything from my end that I can do. Hi Pam, how are you? You're muted, that's how.
Thanks.
You're in a different room.
Yes, I was like, I'm trying a different quadrant in the house today. This is the travel and helpful people for the house. And it's like my front door for the room. So
Okay.
I think those are both good. So.
Kelly can tell you better than me. She's nodding. We'll take it.
I'm most excited to hear how Pam feels about it, but yeah, that sounds like a fun shift to me.
Yeah, why not?
You done?
I have been in this like weird want to rearrange my entire office. Oh, did you say something, Anna? Can we hear you now?
Is it working now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like obviously my desk is not in a place of power because I can't see the door, except if I'm on calls I can see it from the camera. So I've been pondering moving over there, but I really don't want to because then I wouldn't have the light from the window.
You could just put a mirror
Where?
and see the door wherever it allows you to see behind you.
That would be tricky because everything in front of me is a giant mirror window.
What about on your desk? Just like a little,
Oh.
like
Yeah.
I don't have mine on my desk. My desk is a total mess today, but I just have like a little face mirror sometimes.
I have a compact. It's Snow White.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Maybe I'll try that then.
You just see how it feels.
Yeah.
Or not.
Matt's been having to deal with the so I want to rearrange everything, and you get to do it because I can't lift a damn thing.
That's fair.
Yeah. And he's just kind of like, okay. However, he's not helping because he's like, well, we never sealed your desk, so we need to repaint it. So what color do you want to repaint it? And I'm like, no. Like all the colors? Maybe it will be all the colors. He suggested getting that unicorn stain.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, that might be a little much for me. We also found a nice coral paint that I bought ages ago for my office and never used. So that's an option. We will see.
Coral, which is fire. That would be good for you.
It is a little, he might need to be mixed because it's 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried mixing it himself. We painted a couple flower pots and it's a little pinkier than we thought.
Mm.
But I think maybe if it's mixed, it might be a little more orange. There's already, my rug is coral and some of the pictures on the wall are, but.
And your beautiful shirt.
Well, yes. I want it to be bright today. Okay, I'm gonna check real fast to see who else said they were coming, just so I am aware. How is everybody else who hasn't chatted yet?
Raggedy.
Raggedy? Why are you raggedy?
I've been cleaning up dog puke for 18 hours. All three are throwing up every like 30 minutes. So I did not sleep last night. So raggedy.
Did they get into something?
Well, yesterday was Honey's birthday and they pottied too hard. We gave them each one bone, but then they ninja'd their way to the rest of the bones and ate more. So yeah, their little tummies can't process all of that. They're fine. Like, they don't seem to care. It's just every 30 minutes it's someone doing that. So yeah, just
Why would they care? They got all the treats.
I know. And yeah, and they definitely want to like go hard again. I made them bland rice and they wanted Nate's hand cut french fries that I made him instead. And I was like, I know that that's yummier, but you need something to soak up what you've done to yourself. So yeah, I'm very grateful for everyone's energy though, because I'm gonna need you guys.
They can have some rice and some pumpkin.
Yeah, I thought I had a can of pumpkin, but I don't, but my friend does, so she's gonna drop it off on her way home from work later, so.
That is a good friend.
Yeah, she lives up the mountain, because Pittsburgh's country and rural apparently, and so we just like rotate who goes grocery shopping for like the things if someone forgets, I'll be like, oh, I'm going out, what do you need, and vice versa, so it's really helpful.
That is helpful. I'm like, I need somebody who can just drop off random groceries at my house.
Yeah, and we like dog sit or do potty breaks for each other when we need it. It's very convenient. And she's also one of my only friends in Pittsburgh. So how great that when we bought a house, it's 5 minutes from hers. Whoa.
That is handy. We have a friend who's like 10 minutes who dog sits, but I wouldn't want him doing my grocery shopping. I feel like, I don't know, it would end up with like random things of like, hey, I saw this and it looks cool. And I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and she has celiacs and is really dairy selective for like what her body responds to. So I always volunteer to get something that is like clearly labeled gluten-free or produce. I was like, I do no dairy for you because I don't know the if, ands, or whats. So we have an agreement in that way so I don't get anything harmful.
That makes sense. That is also why I wouldn't trust anybody doing grocery shopping. I mean, like, Matt is still nervous during the grocery shopping about, like, I'm going to mess this up because there's, like, 200 ingredients he can't have or he can't, buy with stuff. And it is hard to remember. I think I'm dairy selective too, sort of. I can have one brand and one variety of cheese.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I'm like that I've realized with even butter lately, because like the thing I inherited from my mother was if there's no butter in it, you didn't cook it right. So that's one thing that Pittsburgh's been out of is butter. Everyone else is out of toilet paper. We have a butter like shortage, and so they've been switching their distributors. So I've been noticing just being a little more lethargic or itchy, and that's the only thing that has changed. So
I recommend Kerrygold.
Oh my god, that's my favorite Irish butter.
I can only eat 2 butters, and that's one of them. So.
There was this related to Irish things. Aldi sometimes has like their imported cheese section, but they never have the same rotation. But they had this beautiful, really crumbly Irish cheddar that I hadn't had since I was in Ireland. And I was so excited. And then I go the next week to get another one just to have. I was like, oh, it'll last me like 3 months if I have 2 of them. And then they already didn't have it. And they're like, yeah, we usually don't get things twice. So I just had to like be really sad in the parking lot.
I understand this. This is why you stuck up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How are you, Quinn?
I'm good. Very, very good. Is it my turn for the 3 things or just
No,
small?
I'm just asking how you are, and then we're gonna get a volunteer.
Yeah, no, just in general, I'm good. It's a beautiful day out. It's so hot, and I'm gonna go swimming after this.
Sounds lovely. It is like gray here.
Oh,
It's not warm, but it's not cold, so I'm like, I don't know what to call it.
Okay. Yeah, it's just kind of blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why I needed a bright color, because I was like, I don't know. We're like sort of in hurricane, like the outskirts of like whatever that tropical storm is, Arthur or whatever. So,
Where do you even live? I don't even know where you're from. Where?
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia.
So
Okay.
East
Never-
Coast in the middle, right above like the Carolinas where all the hurricanes hit.
Oh, now I get it. Okay. Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
we are like right on the coastline, or right kind of on the cusp of North Carolina and Virginia.
Yeah.
So we've
I
had
love
to
how you
evacuate for storms before.
I love how you're like, I'm gonna have to tell her where this is geographically, because I don't know. My American geography isn't terrible. Like I know where most things are, but yeah, I was like, Virginia, where is that? West, east, in the middle? Oh my God.
I just assume that I should update all Canadians with where Virginia is, because I'm like, y'all tell me where things are, and I don't know otherwise. I have no Canada geography. Like Canada's up there.
Yeah.
That side's warm. That side's cold. That's all I've got.
Yeah, it's like almost all cold with like some warm here and there.
I can't even remember, because there was somebody who was trying to convince me to go to Canada, and they were like, you can move to here because it's warm.
Yeah.
And it was one spot, and it was like the expensive spot. And I was like, this is not.
Vancouver, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
It might have been. My city is pretty hot too, because I'm at the most southern tip of Canada, like as south as it can get. So, oh, someone asked, how perfect is that? I just see Anna saying, where do you live, Quinn? I live in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. So I'm on the other side of the Detroit River from Detroit. Yeah. And it's ridiculously hot here. We're under a heat warning right now. I mean, it's nothing tropical or anything, but for Canada, it's hot.
I would ask you to tell me what defines hot, but you're going to tell me in Celsius, and I can't do that math.
I was about to tell you in Celsius, but I'm bilingual. So let's say 80.
Okay. I can get on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that a heat warning, but.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if I might be even undershooting it. It must be, if it's a heat warning, it's got to be 90. I'm just like really tolerant to the heat. And my Fahrenheit, as you can tell, is not the strongest.
That's fine.
Knowledge, I can just kind of understand it a little bit.
80 I'm cool with, especially depending on how the humidity is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually humid as all hell.
Okay. Because like when you say Detroit, I'm like, Detroit's cold. So my brain was trying to. Okay.
Yeah. Like we're cold in the winter. It's just during the summer, all of a sudden it's the opposite extreme. It's like from really cold to like super hot.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that either.
Yeah, it's a lot of extremes.
Yeah, 87. Okay, 87's warm.
87. Okay, so it was somewhere in that 80 to 90 realm.
Yeah, 87's too warm for me pregnant, and it's too warm for me if there's a lot of humidity.
And there is. Yeah, you'd be like,
I just need California.
California would be awesome.
Unfortunately, there's only one spot in California we can move to unless we change Matt's entire career, which we may do anyway, but we're considering buying a farm.
Exciting.
It has to make sense, but it's a really good price, and it's a lot of land, and it already has stuff set up. And there's 36 acres. There's plenty of room for tiny houses. Like, y'all can just come move in.
Is it in Virginia?
Yeah, it's by Safra.
Oh my gosh, that would be so dreamy.
Yeah, it already has like horse stables and like horse arenas and like different areas for more livestock. Because I was like, okay, I need chickens. Matt wants cows and sheep and pigs and bees.
Oh my gosh.
And we need a greenhouse. So I'm like, okay, well, this place has enough for all of this, and it's at a stupid good price. It's just like we don't want to move right this moment necessarily, and it'd be more convenient if you had a job there. Yeah. But my brain won't let go of it, so we'll see what my brain tells me later. But he's like, I could just board horses. That's like almost the same amount of money, maybe.
It's expensive. I used to have a horse, and yeah, it's expensive to board. So you'd make some good money.
Yeah, we
But you also have to like look after the horses. So
which I'm not gonna do. So it's like it has to be
they're a lot of work.
horse poor. Yeah, I could understand that. Maybe we'll have to talk to you some more, Anna. You have more horse knowledge than us. He's like, I've never ridden a horse, and I'm like,
This lady I follow here, she like just adopted a couple of wild Mustangs, and every weekend her family like takes their horses up and they go horseback riding in the mountains or at the Great Salt Lake or just wherever, and it's so romantic. I know, Anna, I see your face like because it's got to be so expensive just like adopting horses and like just traveling every weekend. I have no idea what her husband does, but I have to admit that every time I see them, like with her, she'll do her little Facebook lives and it'll be like sunset and they're in the mountains on their horses and it's so romantic.
My first year of college, I actually got a scholarship and went to University of Findlay for equine science because since I grew up on a ranch, I showed horses. I worked at a barn teaching riding lessons for 6 years.
Wow.
So I wanted to go into the horse business full time, but after the first horse accounting class, I was like, no. No.
All the horse people I know are like crazy wealthy.
You have to be.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah, my last horse I sold 8 years ago because working full time and trying to pay for farriers and hay, and my family grows hay. Like they still own the ranch and they still grow hay, but it's like $10 to $12 for a bale of hay. One. So it gets expensive fast.
yeah,
So
we
finicky.
would not own horses. We would just board horses. There's no owning. Sheep, fine. Cows, sure, I can eat them, but as long as I don't befriend them first, that's what we're gonna struggle with.
We've boarded horses too, but the liability is pretty high. We had a boarder get into a fence once, a barbed wire fence. Luckily, I've taken a lot of first aid classes and I've vetted a lot of horses. I was responsible at the barn that I worked at for a head of 40 horses. So I can give shots, I can do stitches, I can do a lot of stuff. But this horse that got into the barbed wire fence was a very expensive problem.
Sounds it. Yeah, I think all the ones in the property are like the plastic electric fences. Because I did a little bit of research because I was like, why am I going down this rabbit hole? Like, because even were we doing this, it's like, we can't move until after the baby comes. We already paid $4,000 for some fucking midwives. Like, we're not moving. But I went down the rabbit hole and I was like, okay, it's got the good fences. It's got the barn. It's got, 6 stalls in the stable. It's got all these things. And how much money would we be saving by already having that? And then he's manifesting his stuff, like calling his dad, like, let's talk about livestock. You grew up on a ranch. I'm like, oh God, what's happening?
Getting real.
Don't know what's happening. We'll see. We don't know what we're doing. He's never touched a horse. I'm like, I've at least ridden a couple. But I don't want to be the one in charge of them. Like,
Oh, they're funny animals. I mean, they're really unpredictable, like very. And I had a calm one, and she was still unpredictable and finicky, and their health is so fragile. Like, that's the main reason I sold my horse. She was getting old, and her health, like the tiniest thing could set her way off, and she wouldn't be rideable anymore. And I didn't have the money to put into vet bills to deal with all of this. So I was like, I've got to sell her now before she gets too old to sell and move on. But it was fun too. And it was an incredible learning experience in so many ways. And I'm glad I did it. But horses, I see what Anna's saying by the term horse poor. I felt like Danny was kind of like a money trap. I loved her. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of money.
It says they're a 1,000-pound animal with a brain the size of a walnut.
Yeah. It's so true. God love them, but they react first, think never. Yeah.
Well, they're prey animals, so everything is a predator to them. And so if you have a 1,000-pound animal with a brain the size of a walnut who reacts to something blowing in the wind, that can go bad really quick.
Yeah. Especially when you're on the back of it when it's panicking. That's always fun.
Yeah, maybe we could just use the stalls for cows.
Dogs. You could board dogs. That's what I have now is dogs.
Really?
Please be a musher. Has anyone watched Togo?
Yes,
Yes.
sort of. Sorry,
With
Matt,
Will-
we're watching it, and I wasn't watching it, and then I got interested midway.
Yeah, with Willem Dafoe, and he's a dog musher and a dog boarder. He's up in Alaska, so I don't know what it's like in Virginia, but boarding dogs. They can pull you on a cart. You could board Rottweilers, and you could have them be cart dogs, and you could give cart rides to children and grow pumpkins and do pumpkin plucking Rottweiler cart rides.
The problem with that is that I don't want people coming to my farm.
But then you are boarding horses. I think you need to think more about this.
Like, I'm okay with like 6 people coming. That's different than like bring your children, let them run amok.
Oh, I feel like it could be 6 children either way.
I don't know. Like, I already have 2, so there's only spots left for 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like, mine count in this qualification. We have a limit for how many children Kristen can stand.
Plus
And
2
it might
dogs.
actually just be 2, and only if they're my own and I have birthed them.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know that I like other people's children.
No.
Not usually.
No, like, I have a terrible, like, aunt, because I'm like, y'all, what the fuck are y'all parents doing?
I like other people's kids when the parents aren't around, because usually that dynamic is why, at least in my experience, kids act up. But when their parents aren't around, I'm like, oh, you're sane. Whoa.
It's
What's
worse.
happening?
It's worse with Matt's family. It's bizarre because I'm just like, why did y'all leave me upstairs with all of the children when like half of them don't listen to me because their parents hate me? So like, why am I the one watching all of these children while they're like throwing things at my kid?
Oh my
I'm just
God.
like, no, can't.
No.
No, I had to sit one down and be like, we don't throw things. And you're like 8, you know enough. You can either get your butt downstairs and talk to your dad, or I'm going to.
Yep.
And then she cried, and I was like, I got no time for your bullshit.
Has 5 children. 5. And I think my kids were about 8 and 12, and they were like, please don't make us hang out with our cousins anymore, please.
Yeah, I understand that. I do not blame them. Okay, I'm going to turn my fan on real fast, so I'm going to hit the switch. Okay. Guess we can stop talking ranches and talk businesses. I think Lori got support last time. Did anybody else get support last time? Kelly? Okay. I'm glad y'all remember. I even looked at my notes and I forgot to write Kelly down. I think you were even the first person now that I look back. I just can't flip 3 pages and remember to write a name.
I mean, if we have time and if you have the energy, I'll talk some more at the end, but no pressure.
Sounds good. Okay.
Thanks.
Do we have a volunteer to go first? If not, I'm going to go in the circle. All right, Pam, you're the first after Kelly. So this is what happens when you get here too early.
Damn, I'll have to remember that. No. So what's the order? Shifts, wins, support? Or is it wins, shifts, support?
Wins, shifts, and support, yes.
Okay. Wins. I had my first sale from an absolute complete stranger that I haven't talked to.
Yay!
And still haven't talked to. But yeah, it was just a pick a planet offer. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm hoping that that would be nice to actually talk to her. But we'll see. I've sent off her PDF. Anyway, so there's that. As a specific manifester, when I made my list of stuff, goals, whatever for the month, I actually put like, this is how much income I want. And it looks like I'm easily going to hit that. So, yay. I'm like, looking at my finances, I'm like, I think I have to up that for next month. I want more. More, please. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else is for me. I think that's the biggest things.
You know where that client came from?
I kind of Facebook snooped her, and it looks like she's friends with Alexis.
Okay.
But like that's the only connection.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know where she would have seen it or anything. So
I was talking to Alexis about my Pick a Planet reading with you, and she said that she's about to have her nodal return, so maybe she was talking about it with someone.
Maybe, yeah. Alexis hasn't said anything about. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's cool. What else? Oh, for another win. Really not stressing about the schoolwork for a personal win. So I'm putting all the responsibility on my 14-year-old, and I'm not feeling guilty for it because she's a 3-5 and she's going to have to learn her own way.
And also they're going to have to adapt whenever they go back to school anyway.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. There's be tons of kids that are quote unquote behind, right? So they're going back to school 1 day a week starting next month and school's only into the end of June. So I'm like, okay, they're going to go to school 4 times. Anyway, we had the option of not doing it. So she's not going. She can just stay home and keep doing what she's not doing. And
yeah, like here they're not even sure they're opening up in September.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, kind of take that as a win that I've taken that stress off of myself and the pressure. And she seems to be a lot happier. She's not doing much other than watching anime and reading manga, but whatever. Like,
she had a stressful year though. Maybe she needs a little.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, school in general has been stressful, so maybe she's just recovering from the burnout that she hasn't quite got to yet. So anyway, so that's my wins.
Okay.
Shifts. I kind of feel like I'm still in the middle of some stuff. I've gotten into the PHS side of human design a little bit for my own self. Not doing it very well, so you don't yell at me. And just like my motivation. Well, okay, my environment is cave blending. So how can I create artificial caves in the online space and kind of embrace that part? And because it really does make me feel safe and secure, like this kind of group and the other groups that I'm in that are smaller, and there's a gatekeeper that's not me. And then I'm an observer, not to be observed. So I think that's why I'm so uncomfortable on camera, is that I'm being observed then. So in group programs, how can I set them up more where I'm guiding people versus being the one in front and going, this is how you need to do everything? It's more being the resource and guiding.
Facilitating instead of educating.
Yeah. Where the education part will naturally come in as people ask questions, and I'm invited to share that, right? So my motivation is fear. So just trying to figure out what that actually means and how it feels. Because my transferred motivation is need. So noticing how, if I'm filling other people's needs, how I'm being disempowered. So coming from a different place and creating offers, in that it's not from somebody else's need, I guess. And it kind of ties into my view is personal. So I think that what I've been talking about putting yourself first, I actually really have to do that because my view is personal. and not feeling like I'm selfish for doing that, but coming from that place and sharing from that place versus, yeah, this feeling this need stuff. So I've been working with this for just a couple weeks now, so I'm still kind of feeling what it's going to come out as. And then on top of that, my one VA client that's super not aligned that I've been wanting to let go of forever, they lost a contract. So my hours are going to be drastically reduced from here on out. So it's like, okay, so how can I, being that my prosperity profile needs that foundation of and steady income to feel secure, how can I build that for myself with an aligned client or clients?
Is this the corporate client?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe the time is to sit down and write down your specific list of what qualities you want an aligned client to have, and maybe even like what type of businesses are acceptable.
Yeah. And that's, thank you for saying to write it down, because I've just been kind of thinking about it, but I'm a specific manifestor. I better start writing it down. Because it's like, okay, I want to work with people that want to use their human design, right? And use it in their businesses, because I really feel that that's human design is so integral to us moving forward.
I haven't seen any VAs who specialize in
and that's the thing too. And then with work, do I want to be doing VA work? No, I probably want to do more OBM project management type work. Anyway, so yeah, trying to write that stuff down.
I haven't seen OBMs who specialized either, besides like, sort of Ardelia.
Yeah.
I know last time I hired, there were people who are obviously trying to play up the human design aspects, but I did not get the sense that any of them really knew much about human design. And it was just like this interesting kind of like, okay, so I would have to teach you everything, and how long will that take, and do I want to do that training? And I'm sure I'm not the only person in that place of wanting a team who understands the energy there.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And then that's the other part. It's like, okay, do I take this bigger and have other, like, and look at maybe hiring people to work under me to do this work to support other businesses, right? And that's a whole other rabbit hole, but.
So that was actually sort of going to tie into my next question of, could you train people? Like, if you want to be the OBM, can you train? Like, one of the things that we are figuring out is, like, what is the budget for bringing a generator on this year? Because Ardelia shouldn't be doing everything she's doing. But we would have to train somebody. And then there's like well, I'm on maternity leave. I can't train anybody. She's a projector. She's already overstretched. Like, she can't.
Okay.
So it's like could you train people to work with human design in that way, and then like follow your methods?
Yes.
So they get you as the like OBM, and maybe that's in a specific I can't find the word I'm looking for, but it could be for a specific project or shore system or some sort of structure, and then they have the trained VAs who actually do the work, and you just make sure everything's going smoothly and to plan, and that everyone is following the overlying human design.
Yeah.
Human design OBM school. But like, I could see little workshops of like, train your VA to use the most out of their human design.
This okay. That's even because I've been like the whole creating a legacy. How can my business continue on once I'm gone? And so then that would mean bringing other people in, right? And them being able to do what I do or whatever, right? So,
or having trainings.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say, especially because you have the observer element. To me, that just feels like you can sit back and watch people like do their things after they've self-studied or projected what they want to learn onto you. And then you say, here's all your information. And then you watch them. I don't quite understand the need portion.
Oh, the transferred motivation. Yeah, that's like when I'm not in my not self, where either I'm coming from a place, oh, I need this, versus, yeah, and the fear is more like a survival based. I was talking this out with Alexis, and she's like, and which I'm playing with, is like maybe it's more about necessity versus need, like, which feels a lot better. It's like, especially when I talk about like the self-care stuff and that, like it's something that's it's not what you need, it's necessary, like for you to be vital and be at your best, right? Where filling or coming at a need, like I know it's really easy for me to want to save the day, and that's that fifth line energy, right? And but that's not where I'm supposed to be coming from. I don't know if that helps, but
Yes, I think it
it's
does.
a different, yeah, it's a different, I don't know, need versus necessity. Like
It's kind of like the fear, if you don't meet the needs, your needs or whoever's needs, not you necessarily, people's needs aren't met, then there's the fear, and that's the motivation that's driving you to help get the needs met. And in this instance, it sounds like the need is energetically aligned OBMs.
yes, as a necessity to people running and expanding their own businesses.
Cool.
Because how many people are being held back because they don't have the administrative support that they need? Everybody.
Support doesn't support them energetically.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah.
Because I sheepishly don't even want to say how many team members I have gone through, but I have gone through so many team members because just looking back, like being able to look at our human designs, it's like either I needed to instruct you in a different way and I didn't know that at the time, or, you just weren't going to work because we have these things that don't align together with going together for a purpose.
Yeah.
And if you could, how much money is wasted by training new people and then having them leave, 3 months, or having to fire them,
Yeah.
or any of that. And I don't even actually want to think about
Yeah, and you're not alone. You're not alone in that. Like, and that's part of what's kind of, it's like getting people to buy into the vision too, so that you're not like they're as invested as the people that they're working with, right? And in the vision and in the, yeah, so.
Yeah, so there's multiple layers. So like teaching them how to see and how to like be embedded in the vision, and teaching them the energetic aspects, and depending on what they're doing, they may they're going to have to know how to manage their own energy. They're going to have to know how to work with potentially a different type of energy.
Yeah.
And that could all be, just like stuff that's already created. And then if they need more support, then you can work with their 2 charts to see, this is how you support this person, this is how you, direct this person, and go deeper. And then that's when you would have like the 1-to-1.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad we just created a new business for you.
I know, right? Pam's Human Design OBM School. Cute.
Okay. What other shifts are there besides this new? Okay, Kelly, what were you
saying?
I was just going to say, the sooner you could get on that, the sooner the rest of us will feel more supported. Please and thanks.
Thank you.
Fulfill all my problems, please.
Yeah. Or at least, yeah. Well, that's the thing, and for you projectors, so that you have the energy to do what you're supposed to be doing, not, so everybody can stay in their wheelhouse, right? Instead of, being spread all over the place. So, other shifts, again, around the VA OBM stuff is like, moving to, day rates for some stuff maybe, and offering some kind of more intensives maybe, I don't know. And what was the other, because my business originally was a projector, right? And then last year it was like, no, you need to pull a new chart. And the whole time it was trying to pull my daughter's energy in, she being a manifesting generator. So funny, the day that it was like, no, pull a new chart was like the day before her birthday. So it's actually the same. It's a manifesting generator. It's got the same incarnation cross as my daughter. And it just dawned on me yesterday when I was journaling that part of this drive of my business trying to make me multitask is that it wants to bring me pleasure. Like, why wouldn't it? Because that's going to support me, right? So I think that's why this human design, like the pick a planet thing, has been so much fun. It's fun, and yeah, so that would be the other show. And I've been mentioned that maybe I'm not charging enough for the pick a planet, especially if I'm jumping on calls with people. Just because it's fun doesn't mean I can't make money at it too.
What are you charging for that right now?
$9 for one planet or 15 for two. And you
You're
just
hopping
get
on the
it.
phone?
And then I'm jumping on the phone for 15 minutes.
No.
Not to out Pam, but she gave me 45 minutes of her time with Lori rambling, and I will share that I would have paid, because I did the 2 planets, I would have paid easily double that for the experience I got without the call itself. But like
Without the call.
Yeah, even with that, I would have paid like $30.
So
But that's just because I love you and I'm excited. But
I would love for you to set a limit of like, this is what I need to be making before I get on a call. Because for me, it's like normal price 147 is like, I need to have that before you see my face. If I'm doing a flash sale for 97, like fine. And really 147 is like occasional. It's for human design reads that are like very bare and basic because I don't need to think.
Okay.
And so like anything like for a strategy call, I need $400 to hop on because I need to think, and you're calling on me to use, decades of experience. I need to be present. Like it's completely
and that
different.
kind of goes with the day rate thing that's come up. So that's okay.
So that's your homework. Figure out what that bottom line is.
Yeah, which is something I need to reverse engineer anyway, especially with losing a third of my income with that unaligned. And then I want to bring in an aligned client or two. And okay. Kelsey. Yay.
And you can also, like, while I don't like thinking of hourly prices, like sometimes it is helpful just to correlate, like, okay, if you were working in a traditional place and you were making this an hour, like what does your pricing have to equate to get to that, like whatever you would feel good making in somewhere else. Yeah. And knowing that if you're following profit first, you're only getting half of it, so you need to double whatever it is.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, it's like 9 and 15, that's great, but you're hopping on the phone, 15% of that's going to taxes already. So, like, I don't even want to do 15% of $9 because that's not worth it in my head. Like, it's not worth me doing the math. So
no, it's not. And that was like, it's low cost. Like, I don't know. But yeah, if I do, no. When, no, it's not an app.
Planet, $27 per planet would be like the minimum, I would say. You get a 1-page max, not even a full page PDF.
No, it's not. It's like half a page.
Okay.
Like it's half graphics, half a, right? So that's why I was like, what is that after deductions? Yeah. Well, that's exactly. And I like when I threw the pricing together, it was like based off of my 1-hour call. And it's like, this is going to be something to support me gathering more information and it's fun, but yeah, why can't I get paid for it too, right? So
What is your 1 hour call priced at currently?
97.
97? Okay. Is that in Canadian or US?
US.
Okay.
So 120 Canadian.
Okay. Okay. I'm okay with the call price, but
Okay.
I would not be okay with the call price if it was priced in Canadian.
Right.
But I'm okay with the call price. However, you should not be hopping on the phone with anybody who's paying $9 or $15. How about you need to receive 97 before you hop on a damn call?
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fair.
New rule we are instating. That's your shift.
Okay. Next month that'll be up. What's your shift? Yeah. Owning this $97. You don't see my face. Or whatever.
I can get a nice picture of you.
I could include that in the email.
Yay.
Oh, good. That's what's fun about this group coaching too, yeah, because you pick up stuff that you wouldn't even have thought of. Anyway, okay. I feel complete.
Do you need any actual support now that we've created a business and changed all your prices? Hello, puppy.
I don't know. The only thing is like this whole, because yeah, I've got the human design bit in the air. I've got the OBMVA stuff up in the air. And then, well, maybe that's it. I thought there was a third ball.
Arrow?
I really feel like that's going to fall into how I offer the VA OBM stuff.
Okay.
Like the quarterly reading, that's just part of what you get.
So is that only going to be for OBM VA clients then?
I guess there's an opportunity there for like a groundwork type offer, just to be I think there's an opportunity, just but not, yeah, it'd be like not something that, again, it'd be quarterly, so I'd only be offering it 4 times a year kind of thing. So it's not allowed a lot of output, I guess, for getting it. I don't know how to explain it.
I think I know what you're saying.
Okay.
It seems like there's still something brewing there. Maybe we're not supposed to have the answers.
Yeah, and that's kind of what. But I guess if I just start with the manifesting part, because I was like, I feel like, yeah, I have all these balls in the air because business is manny-jenning, and I'm not used to. I've been so focused on focusing and only doing one thing at a time. How to manage that, because I feel like right now, if I pull any of it down out and actually on it, I'm going to stifle its growth.
Okay.
Or its expansion, right? So, but I do feel like it feels good to think about just writing out what the manifesting part, the specific manifesting part, because I can say, this is who I want to work with. This is how I think I want to work with people. Because then that still leaves room for whoever wants to come in, right? And then that gives my brain some foundation, some structure, while not pulling it all down and finalizing anything, or I don't know, or making it too structured.
What if you start and get kind of specific about, this wording is solely because this is what's in my head because I'm creating content. Like the entryway for each piece. So like for human design, right now it's pick a planet. So how many pick a planet reads do you want a month? And then you can have the you can get specific about like how many of those could you take into some sort of more advanced work if you wanted, if they were aligned. And then on the other side, how many VA/OBM clients could you take a month or have overall at one time, and understanding that it's going to shift depending on their needs and like what their price is and all of that, how much time they require. But if you have a, you know, like I always have 2 clients, or, you know, if you have even your limit as well, like I always have 2 clients and I never have more than 5 OBM clients.
Yeah.
5 OBM and VA clients. And then you can have space, like you can just get specific about like this month I'm going to create the structure to potentially use for teaching human design and, you know, and OBM and VA work.
Yeah.
And that way you don't have to move down the path, but the specific energy is there for, hey, I'm going to spend time allowing this to create and form, and then I can decide what it's becoming.
Okay, that feels good. Because right now it's like I'm getting to a point of being stagnant because I'm feeling overwhelmed. But that feels good, because then it's moving the energy but not clamping it down and allowing for what it wants to be or needs to be. Okay, and then I'm still doing. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need any other support?
No, I think that's lots. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, and thank you, everyone.
I forgot to ask, is there anybody who has to go early? Safra, did you have to go early? I know you said you were coming in late. Did you have to leave early? Until 3. Okay, how about you go next, just in case. Not to throw you under wheels or anything. But are you ready, or? Okay.
I can be more or less ready. Okay, so I'm assuming we're saying like woohoos and stagnancies, and then when we need help?
Wind shift support.
Wind shift support. Okay, wins is things are coming together between all of the work that we've been doing with you and with Pam, and the inspiration is there. The energy is definitely coming back. It's wonderful. I don't think it's ever taken me this long to get back into myself again, but it's coming back right. And I like that, because I'm really feeling like it's like next leveling. What did you call it? With the website, you know, that word that you were using with the website?
Elevating.
It's elevated. I like that. It's elevating. So it's very, very exciting. Another big win, just because my ego has been so deeply stroked over this past week or so with clients. So I just had another client today just come at me and tell me just how amazing the integrated accelerated healer program, my 1-year program of training healers, is going, and just how wonderful I am, and how amazing, and how much they're learning, and how much they got, and how much they've advanced, and where was I 4 years ago, and blah blah blah. So it's like, yee! I feel really good. I'm gonna hide today. So that's that. Win support. What was the middle one? I forgot the middle one.
Wind shift support.
Well, this is the shift. I'm shifting. It's wonderful. I'm feeling back much closer to myself. And the shift here, I was actually going to reach out to you, but I was able to, I dreamt this into creation. I was having a very difficult time marrying the whole 3D based scenarios of what's been going on, and my need to, you know, share the truth, speak the truth, you know, shine the light, that kind of stuff. And the energetic, like, you know, woo-woo, spiritual, you know, expanded software that I much prefer to be. I've been having a hard time communicating that out recently, or feeling like I'm communicating that out. On Sunday, I got the inspiration to write a post, and to basically, I've been asking, how do I marry this? How do I get back into the balance of it? And I was given the inspiration to kind of share out loud the process that I'd been going through of the need to publicly share what's been going on in truth that I don't necessarily want to be sharing. And it gave me the space that I can kind of re-elevate the energy and reconnect the energy between these two things. So I've been feeling that balance coming back into play. That's a shift that I'm very happy about. Very happy. So I'm still getting there. I'm still getting, you know, back to that like elevated self, but it's really nice to be feeling and to be moving in that direction again. And support. Well, I have a launch coming up right now. Yay! Pam's been really helping with this. You've been really helping with this. And I think for some reason, not for some reason, I don't want to run this like I used to run my previous launches, and I'd like support and maybe how to structure maybe, you know, this one, or maybe direction to structure it in, or anything kind of to help me to kind of hone my focus into getting into launch mode and bringing a good launch. It's going to be for the software method ascended healing one.
The intro?
The ascended healing one, the energy one.
So
That's
the 12-month program?
No, just for the energy aspect of it.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, we're getting used to me saying software method.
I mean,
so we're focusing it.
You can change the name. That was just something I was calling it to call it something.
It's right. It's aligned. I just have to get used to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to get all the new names down in my head because I'm struggling. Remind me of the new launch date, because I think last time we talked, the dates were like, Pam, you may know.
I don't even have it in front of me, to be honest. Hold on, let me see if I can.
Pam, do you know? The 15th or the 22nd. I really like the 22nd, human design wise.
Okay.
But I'm encouraging software to start talking about it starting this Friday.
And I'm all for that, and I'm all for the 22nd too, because that's right at summer solstice. So that's like perfect time.
Okay. June 22nd launch.
I should write that down too. June 22nd.
Yes, you should write that down. Okay, so we have like a month-ish. Not quite.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Bit.
What would you say are the 3 things that, did I give 3 fingers? Sure. 3 things that the women who are coming into this are going to receive? What are going to be their biggest shifts?
Okay, so this is the like big energy thing, growing into your power, because you're realizing what you can do and you're able to actually make it manifest. You're able to make it happen on the healing level. I sell them what they want, give them what they need. So what they need here, right, is giving them their trust in their healing abilities, because they're going to be able to do insta healing and, you know, deep level healing, you know, on things that generally we don't believe we can heal, and then they can. The shoot, I need to translate this into words. I can't translate them into words. The ability to expand forward into doing their work with others, into working with clients, or starting a business, or trusting yourself. What is the word I'm looking for? I mean, you could say business building, but that's not the word I'm looking for. It's the knowledge that they can do this service well. Hold on. Sorry, I had a heavy call a minute ago. I'm trying to ground at the same time. Ability to shine their light onto the world.
Okay. And that's in a professional stance. So like they become more grounded professionally.
There we go. Yes.
Hold on. You write that down, because I'm still penduluming you.
That's fine. I see that.
Sorry, yeah, it's doing interesting things. I don't know if you can feel it. My pendulum never clears this area, and it's interesting. But This is what we expect with Safra.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could be because we both know I'm like here and then here and then here and then here. So
It was actually like clearing like above your head, like throat, and then above your head, the path up, which is interesting because usually it's more of like sacral or throat that most people tend to get cleared when I'm doing a fasting. So
yeah, well, it's this is also going back into exactly what I've been focusing on, needing to expand within myself. Maybe because of the dragon meditation. It could be because Blue Dragon of Pleiades is constantly and consistently comes in also with a lot of the healing work that I do. Pam just supported me and edited one of my live meditations so I can actually use it as a freebie. Thank you.
Freebie or opt-in, I'm not sure.
Or opt-in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
okay.
It's very involved there in healing.
So why do the women who are coming into this, why do they need these 3 things right now? Why do they need to get more grounded into being a professional healer? Why do they need to trust themselves and their healing abilities more? And why do they need to grow into, and we'll just throw in the word elevation because it's good, why do they need to elevate their healing powers?
Okay. One is because they're seeing the call for it out there. They're feeling the energetic call that is put out right now, that is like extremely strong right now. A lot more people, because of our period of expansion that we're in right now, are really beginning to feel and open up into their willingness to step into that expansion where they weren't before. And so there's the pull. So one is the pull. 2, I don't know, I'm saying this off the top of my mind, so it must be right, but they're seeing people like us here doing these things, and it's giving them almost like a inspiration for them to be a part of that process. Working miracles, because it's almost working miracles. It's almost something that feels so out of their grip, and yet recognizing that it's possible to make these things happen is something that trust in self, next level, awakening, making magic happen, working miracles, bringing the miraculous into the physical everyday experience is something that that is important. Important? I don't know if that's the word. There's something about that magnetizes them.
Okay.
And grounded professionally, I think it was the first part I said, maybe.
Okay, do you have a third?
That wasn't a third. Empowerment, was that the third?
Grounded professionally was the third, but like why do they feel called to get more grounded professionally right now? Is it because they need to like increase income or?
Okay. So I think because this is the Safra vibration, a lot of people have a tendency to vibe on that vibration. Yes, they want to increase income, but it's more about the impact and the effect that they're being pulled to make or be. They're a part of that shift. They're a part of that healing. They're a part of that transition. They're a part of that awakening. And they want to, by doing this in the professional state, they're able to make that manifest stronger.
Okay. I'm going to ask you one more set of
Damn idealists.
Fine. We all need Safras in the world. There's a reason why you're like one of 2 people I let touch my energy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's more ego stoking. Bring it on, people. Bring it on. I'm taking it all day today.
You and Shelby are the only people who are allowed to touch my energy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I accept that. Thank you for the honor. Thank you.
Thank you for healing me.
You're welcome.
You made last year tolerable for me before I could figure out what was going on. So, like, if you can make that man over there a believer.
That's amazing.
Yeah. the Catholic engineer made him a believer in the software method. Oh.
Thank
Okay.
you. I'll take a testimonial.
I can give you a testimonial.
All right. Yes.
I can give you a new one.
Rock on.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you one more set of 3 questions, and I'm gonna explain why I'm asking these.
Sure.
So, what are the 3 things that would keep them from moving into this program, or for recognizing that they need this program?
Okay. Money. I'm putting my own limiting belief into that too, I would assume, but money. 1 is money. 2 is difficulty in accepting that that they can do these things. It's and I'm going to explain because I know you understand me, but it's a lot easier to see someone else to make that magic happen and be like, oh, and then follow them rather than them take the responsibility to be able to do that themselves. That's that. 3, external validation. They're taught not to accept their power, and so they don't. And so that will stop the person from growing into that incredibly infinite being that they are, that can do anything that anybody else and anything else can do ever, as above, so below, within, without. Making me think on my feet here. Kristen and her husband make me do this all week. It's been crazy. I've been like, whoa, I gotta think.
It's okay, because I told Matt, I was like, so we should do the process that you're running software through, because I am like, you're only talking to her at night, when I'm like, I'm not talking to anybody. It's fucking 1 o'clock at night. I'm like, can you like figure out all the steps and write this down, and maybe we could teach this, so this can be a joint thing? And he's like, I'm like, just sit on it for now.
It's really cool. I gotta give you guys, I got both of you, but like really what he's doing, he's taking me out of my comfort zone of saying people are accepting what I'm saying, and they're just accepting it, basically, to saying, I see what you're saying, but let's think about this. And I'm just like, wait, why are you pushing back? Why are you pushing back? Like, no. You know, it's really cool. So it's really forced me to kind of, hone my focus and my thoughts, and really kind of ground where we both know, and that kind of stuff, I'm not very grounded. So it's been fascinating process.
I think it's helpful because he doesn't know a lot of the like woo world, and he's like, first you were speaking to him as if he knew, and he was like, no, I need the bare basics. Because I was like, well, this makes sense, because some of the people that you're getting are at that place, and they're getting overwhelmed because they need that bridge. And I understand that we don't necessarily want to get all of them, but it helps to move them forward if they can at least relate and understand what's going on. And like, things are clicking for him. He has his own questions, and I have to answer them sometimes, or be like, no, you go ask her. But
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, it is, because it's also where I felt very separated from the, I guess you could say, the groundwork, or those, that are still either yet to, but ready to awaken, or beginning to awaken. I'm beginning to feel that reconnection again.
Yeah, and to me, I think the groundwork is starting to awaken, but they don't know that they are. Exactly. I think that's what the difference is. Like, they are kind of, in a way, Matt. Like, they are aware that they have some knowledge. They are aware that they have some gifts. They may already be in a place where they potentially have for a long time questioned particular, beliefs, or just decided that those don't agree, but they don't know what that next step is.
Yeah. Yes. And that's, I think, a place that I've been trying to support without really. Yes.
Okay. So for me, like, these 9 things essentially are your launch and what to talk about. It is we know why people need this, we know why they're being called to it right now, and we know what's going to keep them from it. So the first thing is, like, can we sandwich at the beginning and at the end, addressing maybe like with a challenge or something? I feel like challenges tend to go really well for you. One of those beliefs of what's going to keep them from moving in, whether it's money. I kind of am really drawn to the conditioning and the external validation, and I'm not entirely sure why, but I feel like that could be a cool challenge to run people through, so then they can start thinking about this all differently. Maybe that's the beginning. And then kind of remind them of, like, you're being called to this energetically. Well, show them what that looks like for them right now so they can recognize it if they're in that place of, oh, I have this tug and I'm getting these signs. Well, what does that look like? What could that look like? And, go through these points, but also remind them like this is possible. So like we're addressing the 3 major objections. We are going through this is why you need this now, and making it very relatable so they can see like, yes, even though the world is crazy, even though there's a pandemic going on and really nobody understands anything and we're just kind of being told things from the day to day, this is why I need this right now. And this is what is going to shift for me. So those are like 9 layers. And also this method can be used for any launch, just in case anybody wants to write down their own questions.
And I need to come back and listen to all of this again as well. And it's perfect because I've been trying to sit down all day to like meditate, to bring in, the clients and, really connect to my clients on a higher level. And I'm not like, for whatever reason, it's just like, no, you're not sitting down and doing that now. You're not doing that now. So this is going to probably help me bring into that alignment and see why I'm not doing this now as well. Why am I pushing back against this?
What is the price range for this again?
Last time I ran it, it was $1,200. I'm thinking about raising it a little bit, maybe $1,500. No more than 12 payments though. But figuring out within that as well the different tiers.
What is the because you said this wasn't the 12-month program, so how long is it?
It's 11 weeks. I'll probably expand it to 12 weeks just for an even number.
Yeah.
And it's all complete. And what we would be doing is the pre-recorded, lessons and the pre-written lessons and all of that stuff. The certification requirements are already, prepared. And then it would be a live attunement weekly. I like those live right now. I think that really brings in the connection there.
I honestly don't like any more than a 6-month payment plan.
Fine with me.
That, but I'm like, they're in this for 3 months. Why the fuck they paying for 12?
That's been something I've been questioning myself also for one-on-ones and mentoring as well. Is should I do 12-month payments for $3,600 program that's going to be like 3 months? I don't know, and I'm raising it to $3,600. But
for me, I don't like payments going over double the thing.
I like
and
that.
Depending how long the program is, like I wouldn't offer 2 years for spellbinding sales just because it doesn't feel right. Like the 1.5 years is kind of like the margin of when it feels right, because otherwise you get into weird, I don't know, the energy shifts.
Well, yeah, once you're out of the energy of the program, it's really hard to convince yourself that it's a worthy payment to do as well. I know that because that's like I feel the energy in my clients as they're continuing to pay for things like well after a program is ended. It's like, it was worth it then, but now it's kind of hard for me to feel into spending $200 a month or $150 a month or $300 a month on. I could be feeding my family. I could be doing another program. I could be, I think, well, not feeding family, doing another program though. Like, I'd be wanting to do another program at that point, personally, as we both know. I love having.
They want to do more with you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. That's exactly. And those that are in my ascended healing this year, they're going to be finishing up their payments in January, but I have at least 2 that are going to be coming into the Light Warriors program. And, so how are you going to make that happen? You and I had this conversation last year.
Yeah.
We made it happen, but still.
We did.
Yeah.
Me, every time I do extended program, I hear that now from Matt, because he was like, remember when I told you shouldn't, and then Safra? I was like, yes, I know.
Oops. I messed with the system, people. I messed with the system.
It is okay. The system's allowed to be messed with.
Yes, that's true.
I experiment. It's okay. Okay, so I have a number of clients. I'm not telling you, but I have it written down. You can tap in later and see what you get, and then we can compare afterwards.
Cool.
I'm okay with anywhere between 1,200 to 1,500. I say no more than 6 months. What does that even? Where's my calculator? I don't feel like doing math.
3 to 318. Give 3 to 300. Damn, 200 to something. This is why I unschool people.
Yeah, so if you did 6 months, that's like only 200 to 250 a month, and it's like yes, you can serve more potentially by having longer extended plans, but you also need to make sure that you're feeling supported and like your family needs support. And without, I don't know, like you need money to buy more goats or like buy some hay or
The property next door needs to be bought from us before somebody else goes in and ruins it. Yeah, it's very important. This is a top priority, people. There are 2 trees in there that I cannot have cut down. It's part of a vortex. I gotta have that property so nobody else ruins it.
which I would go do energy work on the property so nobody can buy
Oh, I do.
it. Okay.
I do.
Okay. Wait, let me run math with my number real fast. Okay. I'm okay with that. What did I say the bottom was? Okay. So the main support they are getting from you through this is like through a Facebook group maybe, and then the attunements?
Yes, and I do like to hold a one-on-one call pre and mid as well.
Wait, so
And
two free one-to-one calls?
though the one-on call before is really to bring them in and to see where they are energetically, to see where if they're even appropriate for it. That's kind of like the intro call type of thing, to almost like the sales call. I don't know if they're right for it, because that's this. So it's important to understand that with this program and the next one I'm running, it's not for everybody. And you know, so they do, you know, it's almost like a test. It's not really a test, you know, but like, you know, type of thing, just to ensure that they are feeling and aligned energetically and vibrationally for it. And then the mid one is a check-in. Where are they? What are they learning? Where do they need support? Type of thing. Okay, and then this is where the Christian's going to say set boundaries, Sofra, and Sofra's like, when people need support, I'm there to support them. So there is the occasional one-on-one call that I will give a client when I see that they're struggling or something's going on in their life, or, you know, the extra reach out thing that is not the VIP, you know, tier type of thing, but keep them moving.
I can't yell at you for that because there are plenty of people here who don't have one-to-one access to me who get messenger access when they need it, because sometimes people need support and you have to fucking support them. Like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. I would say I wouldn't do it as a call though. I would do it through Messenger or Voxer. That puts it more in your time limit. You can cut it off when you need to. You can, if it's in through Voxer, you can speed them up and listen to it real fast. It doesn't have to be like
you see that when I like do like 20-minute messages. Just kidding. Okay.
I listen to everybody's at like 2 to 3 speed just because my head, like, I need to process it quickly and then listen to it slow if I need to. But
you know, you can do that. I'm gonna start doing that too.
It's fabulous. This is why I'm like, don't message me anywhere besides Voxer.
That's awesome. Okay, cool.
Which some of y'all do Facebook Messenger and it's fine. Just it might be slower. I would play with setting the energetic intention that you don't need an intro call to determine alignment. You are somebody who is powerful enough to feel into their energy without getting on a call with them. You can embed the energy into the foundation of the program and into the launch so that the people who are right can recognize it, and the people who are wrong will recognize it from the wording that you're using, from the messaging that you're using, from the energy that you're sending out, and you don't have to handhold them every fucking step of the way.
That's a boundary I need to learn, isn't it? That's something I really need to learn. Yeah, because that's enabling and not empowering as well. And I need to empower, not enable. I can't do enabling anymore.
Okay. And for me, like, okay, we're this $1,200 a month. Sure, get on a call with them to make sure they're aligned. It's fucking $200 a month. Like, no, do not waste a call just to see if they're aligned. You can feel into their energy, set up the boundaries. You are more than skilled enough to do that.
Yes.
I don't think I even need to tell you any instructions on how, so.
I think I can handle that part, yes. Okay.
And there may be like 1 or 2 people who you may have to hop on calls if they're new to you, but the intention shouldn't be that everybody needs a call, because that's going to limit how many people comes in, because you're not going to have the time or energy to give every single person a call, and that's going to slow the launch down. and burn you
Yeah.
out, and you're not going to want to continue launching.
Yeah, and I don't want any more burnout launches. I'm tired of the burnout. And Pam, and that's why I'm afraid to even launch. I'm like, that's probably why I'm resisting launching right now, because I don't want the burnout that comes inevitably with my launches. I don't want that anymore.
Just don't give everybody so much attention. Focus on giving energy to your signifiers and to the energy of the group, and let that be what pulls people in, rather than you feeling the need to give everyone energy. For me, it's the only time I get specific is when there is somebody who is attached to a signifier, potentially attached, and then I need to feel into like I think you're this signifier, and let me see if I can determine this by talking to you, or like, I know you're the signifier, let's figure out what the fuck's keeping you from moving it.
Okay. That makes sense.
Which the first round of SS you did, I only did 2 calls, and one was with you, and one was I know she's a signifier, let me figure out why.
That was funny. That was really funny. Just so you guys know, I had just been like knocked on my ass by another business coach. My entire business had fallen apart around me. And she and I got in a call. By the end of it, I was like, I'm in. And I don't know if she was like really excited about accepting me or not at that point. But I was like, I'm in.
I will confess that it was like I know you're the signifier, so I know you're supposed to be here, but I would not have necessarily like chosen you.
Yep.
And it was like I had to wrap my head around, okay, I know you're here for a reason. I'm trusting this. And then there was like a very clear point where I was like, I got it. This is why she's here. And then you healed me. So
here we go. So we're all good.
That's the signifier. This is what we've got from this.
Cool. Okay. I feel really good about this. This is definitely I can work with this very easily, actually. I feel really light about this. Thank you.
Yay.
I like that. Yay. Okay, Pam, you get to hear from me afterwards. Thank you.
You are welcome. And we got you done before 3. Beautiful. Yay. I lost my pen cap, so we're just going to put that pen over here. Okay. Do we have a volunteer?
Wait, what color am I today?
You are blue today.
Perfect. I like
Like
that. That's healing. Perfect. Awesome.
Oh, bless you, puppy. I don't know if you guys could hear him, but it was a very loud sneeze. I don't know what he's doing down there. Okay. If we do not have a volunteer, then I'm just going to go in the circle. And she's not looking, but it's Quinn. You are next in line. Which
she's not looking. I was like, oh, that's me.
it is.
Okay, I've been trying to feel into what I want support on, but we'll start with win and shift because those I have a really clear answer on. So for my win, I assigned a one-on-one client to Goddess Awaken. So that was my main goal that I've been working on for the last month. Thank you so much, guys. And what I'm really proud of with how that happened is it was me practicing what I preach in my coaching to a T. Like there were so many times where I wanted to, I don't even know what giving up would look like, because let's be real here, I just circle back and start over. But like I almost, like I guess like pulling the energy back, like energetically give up, like, all right, client's not coming, it's not coming in fast enough, like that kind of thing was happening. And I was like, no, like if you like stay with this, you've seen this work time and time again, like stay with it. And so what I'm really proud of is the fact that I did that mindset work. I went hard with it. And then it actually manifested in the sense that I woke up in the morning to the message. So it was able to come in a really aligned way, and a really, you know, there was no reach out. There was no, thank you so much. Thank you. And so yeah, I'm really proud about that. And the other thing that was a big step about that was it was my first time manifesting based on a signifier, because I've never used signifiers in my business until this program. So I knew she was associated with one of the cards, and I felt her, I mean, she's been interested in working with me for a year, and I could just feel her around in that energy around Goddess Awakened. And there was one signifier, and I just knew it was her, and that is who ended up being the client. So I'm really happy that, you know, I tried signifiers for the first time and it worked. So that was really cool. Not that I doubted that it would, but it was just really cool to see it play out. So that's my win. big shifts internally this month. This month is probably one of the biggest internal shift months of my entire life. Like, at the beginning of the month, it came to my attention that I was leaning too far on my divine feminine in order to hide the fact that I'm driven and ambitious and have a divine masculine as well. And in leaning on that divine feminine, I was almost hiding and not really, there were certain parts of myself I wasn't expressing because I was afraid that if it showed, I wouldn't be a good healer because it's too ambitious and too goal oriented, which is just my own ego. But yeah, that was just something I noticed was an area to, yeah.
Not your own ego. That is conditioning from the blonde spiritual community of like, this is who you have to be in order to be a successful spiritual entrepreneur. So it is not like, it's just part of the toxic mentorship circle. Because we're told we're not supposed to take action. You're just supposed to manifest all your clients. You're just supposed to do things. And sorry, that's not how manifestation works.
No.
Like, okay, continue. But I wanted you to take that weight off of yourself.
Thank you. Actually, I really appreciate that. That actually helps me to understand why that mindset was there in the first place. You know, conditioning makes a lot of sense because it's so automatic. It was just this like automatic, ooh, can't show that side of myself. That is way too masculine and not cute and not pretty and not, I don't know, comforting. I think that's really the big key word of what I felt like I needed to be, is that I needed to be comforting, nurturing, motherly all the time. And that is a side of me. And that is a side of how I express myself, but it's not the whole me. And so giving myself permission this month to express my ambitious self and take action and even work hard, not in a hustle, like burnout work hard kind of way, but work hard in the sense that I'm having so much fun and I want to keep working on my business because I'm enjoying it, kind of working hard. So what I noticed happened as a result of allowing myself to be comfortable expressing that side of myself is that my confidence grew. I actually felt more integrated, embodied, confident expressing myself, confident selling, like just confident bringing up like Goddess Awakened in the first place, and having consistent CTAs and having consistent self-expression that leads to some form of selling. It was almost like I was afraid of selling because it was too masculine. So in giving myself permission, yeah, I just noticed this huge difference in how I feel on the inside. I just feel really genuinely confident. And that's a big step because I do have a lot of my own insecurities around being a healer, being an energy healer, being a life coach, being both. Lots of insecurities that I'm still working through around that. So having been able to have this month where I felt more confident in what I do than I ever have in the past felt really good. And I think what also felt really good about it was that I could carry that confidence into my personal life too. So it wasn't just my business that was benefiting. It was also, you know, feeling confident around my family, feeling confident when I'm being in a situation where I wouldn't normally be comfortable expressing myself. So like standing up for myself. And oh, that's another big win. I had this pattern going on that I definitely broke this last month of people that would kind of hover in my energy, like, I want to hire you one day, but then they pick your brain and they're messaging you all the time, but then they never really actually want to hire you or do. And then, you know, there was one in particular who would also sneak insults so that I would feel smaller. So she would say things like, oh, I noticed when you did this one thing in your group, like no one really cared. Or like, I noticed that when you did this one thing in your business, it didn't really work out so well. But this is someone who's saying, I want to hire you, but then simultaneously like little jabs. And I don't know why I was just like putting up with it, but this month I decided I'm not putting up with it anymore. So she wanted to put a post in my group. I won't go into the details. It was just a bit of a strange thing where she wanted to post something in my Facebook group, but she couldn't describe to me what it was or what her intention for it was. Because I said, sure, if you want to share in my group, but what is your intention and how does this help my community? And she couldn't explain it. She was just like, I don't know. And she's like, I just feel like a lot of your group members need to hear something that I have to say. And I was like, this does not feel good. My whole body was shaking. My heart was hammering. I was like, this doesn't feel good. Her intentions don't feel good. I don't know what her plan is, but I'm just going to stand my ground and say no. And so it was one of the first times that I actually, without explanation, without like, it's nothing personal, we could still be friends, like none of that. I was just like, no, no, thank you. And then I said to her, just, not being heartless, but I said to her, it sounds like you have a message to share. Have you thought of creating your own platform to share your message instead? And then she unsubscribed from my mailing list and she's gone. But that's kind of what I wanted, because I can't help her and she's not helping me. In fact, it just seemed a little toxic. So people
a little toxic?
I know it's very toxic. But having said no and sort of sending her away, it was like I could breathe. It was almost like the energy in my business could breathe again. And I had a few more challenges like that come up in its place, of course. So just a few more people who were hanging around in similar ways. Same sort of thing where they were asking for me to get on a call with them for free, coaching for free, straight up, just, can you get on a call with me? I'm stuck here. I need you to coach me, but for free, kind of thing. And there is a friendship here. And this is where things get a little tricky, I find, with coaching, is I bond with people, develop these relationships that eventually sometimes become friendships, but I still wouldn't coach. Like, I have a business bestie. I wouldn't coach her for free, and I wouldn't expect her to coach me for free. So there was a part of me that wanted to get on a call and help her because she is my friend. But instead I said, no, like, if you want to chat with me on Messenger, as a friend, and just have like a little bit of support, friendship support, like, let's do that. But my calls are $120 an hour. So, it's just, yeah. So this was a big month for boundaries for me, and for allowing myself to grow out of the paradigm of being like the mother healer, like everyone's mother, like everyone, come here, wounded birds, let me heal you kind of healer. So that was a really big step for me. In terms of shifting. And I'm just going to read the comments because you guys have all been commenting. Is this about me? I really dislike 2 coaches who keep trying to get me to work with them. Thanks, Chris. No, I don't think that's me. Okay, so Pam said I struggled with divine masculine and feminine as well. Yeah. Awesome, you are shifting through that. Thank you so much. It's all interconnected. I would have been throwing hands. Lori, yes. Yes, your face when I said that was the best. I was like, okay, yeah, it's bullshit. Boundaries for the win, that's disturbing. Trust your body, and that was a big reason why I did, she had a whole bunch of voice notes that said other things that I didn't even hit play on them. I knew by the energy of the voice notes and the energy of what she was even able to say so far, it was a no. And Saffra says, I need to learn from you. Wow, you're reflecting so much. I need to learn myself. That's so crazy, because you're reflecting a lot that I needed to learn myself, which will come up in where I need support. So I love that.
So the first thing that I want to acknowledge is she was trying to manipulate you so she could later likely push against your boundaries of prices. I mean, it's very much like the negging that guys do, like they're trained to do, like the pickup artist, where they, insult you so that you will feel like you're not as much of a catch, so that you should go home with them. And yeah, it is that type of thing, and it's very toxic. And yeah, we don't need to accept that. With friends, no, there does not need to be free calls. I don't have free calls with any of my friends besides my team members, and they get free calls because they fucking support me all the time and they listen to all my shit. And like, we are a team. We are all supporting each other, and that's part of being on the team is, I may get extra support from them than what I am paying them for at times, and they get free access to me when they need it. Normal, just regular friend relationships, there is not that return.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking is there needs to be some form of equal exchange. And I don't mean that in a nitpicky way. I just mean, I know that my body, when I heal from the place of, oh, I should because you need my help, and not receiving an equal exchange in return, I feel awful for at least 24 hours. Like, almost like my energy has been drained from me. And I did have an experience of that this with
it
2
has.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get something in return, and without it, the energy is completely out of balance, and then you have to readjust to it. Also, part of, like, all of those people who are in the ethers who don't move in, like, we need to remove their energy periodically so that they aren't just, having cords attached to our business, to us, and draining us and preventing our business from moving forward. And I remember the first time I did it, it was like, I think it might have been after a launch that didn't go the way that I wanted the launch to go. And so I was like looking back, here are all the people that I talked to for this launch. And it was like 30 people who didn't move in and just like weird stuff. And so it was like well, your energy's still attached, and some of you have been attached to other things. Like, of course nobody's moving in. There's no space because I have no energy to give.
That makes sense.
So removing all of those cords and energies doesn't mean we have to get them out of our sphere unless they are toxic, which it is perfectly fine for her to be off your list.
Yeah.
But,
I know. I was kind of like, actually, that day that she unsubscribed from my mailing list, someone else subscribed to my mailing list, which was just such a picture perfect energy situation. I was like, yeah.
Void was filled.
Yes, exactly. So, yes. And I love exactly what you guys are saying about me being a projector and the recognition component, because I am true to that, in the sense that if there is no recognition, I do feel kind of starved. Like, not to sound codependent or needy, but there's a certain level of recognition that I think all of us, when we're doing our work, desire and deserve, considering that it is big work. So, yeah, thank you guys. It just helped me to understand that the situation I was in was definitely toxic, and that I can really see from talking about it that in standing up for myself and saying no, it makes sense that I've been feeling so much better and so much more confident and so much more like just better in my energy, just overall. It just, it makes sense with what you were saying. It clears that space. So I'm not carrying that heaviness and that attachment anymore. So it made some space, and that's what it feels like. So that was a big step. The thing where I need support is kind of in the realm of what Safra was describing her clients needing support with when she was channeling something about, like, why do they want to be grounded and integrated into their bodies? And one of it, I think she said something along the lines of, like feeling like I don't remember how you worded it, but the concept of where I'm feeling a little stuck is really not that I don't believe in what I do as a healer. It's just that I have like two worlds that seem to be at odds with one another. And one is my inner world, where I believe in what I do and I know what I know. But I do live in a family that is very pragmatic and logical and not very open-minded to what I do, and not, I guess, just not fully understanding it. So it's that lack of recognition. And I try not to let that affect my mindset, but in many ways I kind of do. And I noticed today, for example, I was in the shower and I was stressing about the fact that I didn't finish my master's degree in full. Like, I finished all the classes, and then when it was time to do the internship, there were toxic mentorship issues there that led to me switching into life coaching, which I'm glad I did. I think it was the perfect path for me. But yet I still catch myself having this horrible, sickening attachment to this degree that technically I don't have framed in my room. Like, I don't have, yes, I have the knowledge and I did the classwork and I learned, but I don't have the paper. And as much as I'd love to say that doesn't bother me or slow me down, it has been really weighing down on me. And it's just this feeling of not having enough credentials and just not being enough. Oh, I think this has come up before. Not being enough. And I think the other thing too is, my family's encouraged me to not admit that the degree wasn't finished, to just say I had it. And so there's also this inner battle of like being honest and true to myself, but at the same time staying in line with what they want me to be and staying in line with what I'm supposed to do as a successful person. And I don't know if this is making sense, but it's kind of like an inner war between the intuitive in me and then the person that has been raised to be straight and narrow, straight A's, stay in line, follow a trajectory, check all the boxes.
What would having your master's completed do for you?
So it would mean that I would have a piece of paper. It doesn't change the knowledge I have, because the pieces I had left to do had nothing to do with schoolwork. It was just practice. It was just hours in an office. I did all the schoolwork. So it was just hours being supervised by a supervisor. And I have been coaching clients for 3 years. So it's not like I don't have that experience. I just didn't get it through a school and with a supervisor. So if I did, what it would do for me is it would give me a shield every time someone questions my business. Every time someone says, why do you do that? What is life coaching? What even is that? I could say, look, and it's like a shield. And I still to this day use it as a shield. I'll say, oh, well, I have my master's degree in counseling psychology. Like, this is to strangers. No one who's hiring me. Like, anyone who hires me knows that story. So, but someone who's not hiring me, I still use it as a shield, even though, and it's just such a weak spot, because when I do share the story of how I didn't finish the internship through, the question is always, so you don't have the degree. And then I have to, take 3 years of grad school education and act like it didn't happen and act like it didn't exist because I didn't get the paper behind the frame. So I guess another thing it would do for me is it would allow me to claim those 3 years of education that I worked so hard for, but couldn't complete.
It would give you recognition.
Yes, it would. So Kelly, I see you said that as well. And
yeah.
It would. Yeah. So that actually makes so much sense. Oh my God.
It does. Is there something else that can give you the same amount of recognition? Can you, do you have a list of all of the wins that you have created with clients? Do you have a list of wins that you have created for yourself in your own business so that you can refer to your own credentials versus what somebody else gives you?
I was going to say also you could create like a skills CV based on things that you've learned from your master's program and how you've applied it to your work. And you could make yourself a degree if you wanted to, but I think even just giving yourself a CV of all your skills and all your recognition, everything you're proud of, and putting that, in your fame and reputation sector in your house or whatever, it could be a good way to just feed that energy of maybe you don't have a fancy printed paper framed on your wall, but you could make that if you wanted to. You really did all the hard work involved in all the classes, and you could list the categories for each of those classes. And, just if there's another way to celebrate yourself, I think that could be a worthwhile endeavor. Because like you said, all the work is in doing the work. You've put in hours just in different ways. You haven't put in institutionally approved hours, but what is the institution? It's the white man's institution, it's colonialism. So if we're creating a new paradigm and a new future, like Pam's school, maybe you can create your Quinn's school of expertise that's actually a better reflection of the skills needed for the modern world than what is provided by the institutions that are failing us and old.
Well, that makes sense, because a huge reason why it didn't get completed was not for lack of trying on my part. It was the system completely failed me. No one wanted to take on an intern. They didn't want the responsibility of taking on an intern. And when I had someone who took me on as an intern, she did a bunch of illegal things and my hours got wiped clean as if they had never happened. So I did do internship hours as well. Not all of them, but half of them, and got them wiped clean because of her corruption. And then had a second one who also was corrupt and was drinking and sleeping with clients and lost her license.
And if you logged all your hours for your business, sold any sales and mentoring, count that, that's your professional expertise. It's yeah.
I never thought of that. Even think of how many hours have I coached with clients? How many hours have I spent in programs?
Write it down.
Yeah. Oh, I love this actually. And I think it was just that I had this feeling that if it wasn't institutionally recognized, it didn't count. And not that that's my entire belief, but it's just tough when my environment right now, I'm living with my parents right now as we're saving up for a house. Their belief system is very much based on the institutions. That's what they honor. That's what they want me to follow. And it causes a lot of stress that I don't. So it's tough. And then there's like this feeling of I need to protect myself so that no one can get in the way of me following this path. It's the feeling that, yeah.
I'm going to ask a question and I will explain it afterwards.
Okay.
Okay. So I have technically not finished my bachelor's. Does that change how you view me or how you view my business?
Not even for a split second. It literally actually makes me feel like, oh my God, another reason why the two of us work so well why I work so well in this container that you've created and why I felt so drawn to you without even understanding why, and just knowing this is where I need to be. It just actually solidifies it for me. And
I am 9 credits away, so I am more than Hannah. I was in the early stages of business school and I dropped out to work because I'd already had all of the information that they were teaching, and I'd had it for years, and then I got sick and I moved. And then I started working and ran $1 million company, ran all of the marketing and most of the sales. And then I moved to working at an agency where I was running $1 million marketing campaigns.
So yeah, so why do you need to go back to the bachelor's degree, and what would the degree even do for you at this point? And that's how I feel about the master's, and a huge reason why I didn't push myself to finish it after all of the pushing I had actually done to finish it and failed. Like the reason I decided, okay, door is shut, I'm not meant to go down this path, I'm going to change, is because it didn't feel right. It wasn't just the fact that I couldn't do it and just the fact that external factors were in my way. It was also an empowered choice. And I think I forget to give myself that credit. It was a choice I made because I was being taught to do therapy in a way that was so dry and scientific and clinical. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with science or anything clinical, because I value that too. But it was like there was no room for me. There was no room for the intuition. There was no room for energy. There was no room for anything else. It was very like, stay in this box. At least the way that my school was training me, that's what they wanted. And it was like, whoa, this isn't my world. This isn't right for me. So it wasn't just something I did because of external factors. They played a role, but I think the external factors were just reflecting what I knew to be true on the inside anyway, which was that this path had taken me as far as it could go.
So with that, part of what helped me, because my parents are the same way, my mom almost has her doctorate. She's been in school literally my entire life. My father is a director at the State Board of Education. Obviously, education is important to both of them when they work at the State Board of Education. They're not necessarily pleased that I have not finished, but the way that I reframed it with them was I had to specify very particular business wins so that they could see that this is a legitimate thing. I am making income and I am helping people. And when I approached it in that way, then they could understand. And my dad still doesn't quite like fully grasp what I do, but he understands that it is a real business. My mom, I had to be like, hey, I made $100,000 in one sale last year. And then she was like, oh, well, you weren't going to make that at an agency. No, I was not. And then it was okay, well, this is real. This is supporting you and your family. With her, that dropped it. With my father, he had to understand, this is how I'm helping people. This is how I'm making a difference.
So that one's a tough one because that I've done. And the thing I get is that it's not humble to share how much money you make in your business. So I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I shared, in my first year, I made $100,000 in revenue. And that was a huge accomplishment. And when I shared it with them, they said, but you're still in debt, aren't you? Thank you, Kelly. They said, you're still in debt, aren't you? And 100K is only 100K if it's 100K profit. And so year 2 and year 3 weren't 100K.
Of course they're not, because they just told you 100K wasn't something to shoot for.
And I don't want to blame, I don't mean to blame them.
No, but it's the conditioning.
Yeah. So it felt like, maybe honestly what ended up happening was I was just like, okay. I felt like there was an arrogance in making the money I had made and in letting anyone know about it, especially. I was like, I don't want to be arrogant. So
is it arrogant to be self-sufficient and to support yourself?
No.
That's what the 100K is. Is it arrogant to, if a company was paying you, let's say 50,000, because I'm not sure if the 100 was after you paid yourself or if it was total. But if you were being paid $50,000, then is it arrogant for a company to pay you $50,000?
No.
No, like,
No.
that's like the norm. Like they should be paying you more than $50,000. So what's the difference?
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, I have to admit, over the years, I can tell that they do realize that this is a real business. So that's the positive about it. It's just, I don't know. It's almost like it triggers them. Like it
does.
Yeah, that I'm doing it. More so my dad than, sorry, they're like in the house, so I'm like talking quieter, but more so my dad than my mom. My mom is like, yeah, because she's intuitive too. So she's come around. I think the hard part is my dad, but
I think a lot of people think you have to have the paper to succeed. And so when they see people succeed without the paper, it makes them feel a certain type of way about the money and the time and the things that they did, that they feel like you are only allowed to have success if you did it the same way they did. You know, it's like when people get mad about like they paid their way through school and therefore they don't want to cancel other people's student debts. You know what I mean? Like everybody comes to success differently. And to me, I think that just really affirms that your environment is setting up circumstances where you have to validate yourself and recognize your own successes, because they're probably just going to poke holes in them no matter how much you succeed. And so, yeah, like it's what Safra said earlier about that internal validation versus the external, because you can always seek validation outside yourself, but it's so unstable versus like when you can, you know, be grounded in your own recognition and your own worth, and nobody can take that away from you.
That's so true. And that's what I feel like I've been working on since I started my business, because I knew when I did this that breaking off the mainstream like this and doing my own thing and creating my own success, I knew there was going to be issues like this. I think I underestimated how emotionally taxing it was going to be. And the last few weeks have been a little bit challenging just because of things going on at home, and just being, you know, like lately I've been getting a lot of lectures about you've got to climb the corporate ladder and climb the ladder and and then the other thing too, the one more thing that's been just a little bit difficult is just having friends of my family who are successful entrepreneurs who've done it the traditional way being used as examples of what I'm supposed to aspire to become, but with no recognition of what I myself have done. And so these things have come up, and this conversation's really helped me to see that as much as like, yeah, there's an emotional taxing part of this, I can also see I can validate myself. And I think what's really helped with this conversation though is like a lot of the things that you guys are reflecting back, and I need to read through the comments too after, the things you're reflecting back and everything, it's really hitting home. You know, like when I think about this myself in my head, I just kind of work in circles. So this has really helped to see that, you know, and not finishing the master's degree, that didn't cost me anything. I think the biggest thing was when you said like, what would it do for you to finish it? I realized it hasn't cost me anything. That decision didn't cost me a thing, because it wouldn't change a thing if I went and did it. I don't want to be a therapist. I don't want to start my own practice anymore as a therapist. I want to be a life coach. So it wouldn't serve me. It wouldn't give me anything that I don't already have. So that's something for sure.
It would give you more debt.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. Wait a second. What the fuck?
It'd give you a whole lot more you have to pay off. I mean, like, I'm still paying my student loans and I didn't finish, and I had a full ride. It was just like all of the room and board, the books, all of that. I still have like 15 grand from solely that, and I had a full ride. My entire education was covered.
Yeah, it's so expensive. It's crazy expensive. So that's I didn't even think of that too. Like, we want to talk about debt being an issue. Let's just go back to school.
I will share, I went to master's thinking that I wanted to, but it was that whole loop you're experiencing. And now instead of $30,000 student loan debt, I have $160,000 and accumulating daily. And I don't use my master's degree. I don't use any of my degrees.
So did you say 160,000? That was how much you made, or how much
my student loan debt that I have right now.
60. Wow.
So So that idea, so yeah, I don't mean to hijack, but no, I mentioned some in the comments, like I feel that so strongly because I realized that my bachelor's degrees were for my family because no one's ever gone to college. So then I thought I had to do master's for me, but it was still this idea of, oh, I don't like the job that I'm doing with my undergrad, so I have to find something else that lets me get a better job. I still don't have the better job. I'm still at the same shitty paycheck job that I had before all that. So like you get stuck in that loop. And then I was judging my older sister a lot because she is a generator and she was 19, just finished high school and got a 6-figure job with the government from a neighbor, and then like has never, like she ended up going to school, but the day she finished her bachelor's after 8 years, she got 75,000. She was making well over 6 figures. Things like I was hearing that conditioning of that, well, I did all the right things, why don't I have this? I'm a projector, I shouldn't be doing the right things because the right things aren't my fucking things. So yeah, I wouldn't rant there, but I'm feeling you so hard right now because it has been the biggest stressor of my life is debt, and knowing that I know the things that I know from school, not because I went through school and was a good student, it's because of the way that I experience things. I could have just Googled every fucking thing that I learned in school myself and figured out the same shit. So, end rant, I feel for you. I sent you a message. I'm muting myself. Blah, blah, blah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, actually. It's really validating. I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but it's really validating to know I'm not alone, that this education wound or education shadow is a thing for a lot of us. And yeah.
So I would also talk to Shelby about it. I'm not going to talk about her own personal situation, but
yeah, we had a chat about it and it was really helpful. Sorry.
One thing that I had her do was sit down and look at like what were the pieces of her education that she did want to use in her business, and were there pieces that she might want to use but isn't because of that education wound, and how could she incorporate that into what she's doing. But I'm getting something, puppy or something. But bye, Safra.
Oh, bye.
But this is a common problem. My best friend still has over $100,000 worth of debt. She has her master's. She had, she did the whole thing. She did a double major, a minor, master's. She also had the same full ride that I had and still has $100,000 worth of debt. And she can't get a job paying over $40,000. Well, I'm like, did you make a good decision here? Like, I don't think you did, because she's like, I can't start a family like by myself if I wanted to, because I can't support any more than myself because this is what I have. And I'm like, I have no good advice for you, because really I could pay off my student loans now. I just don't care to, because they're such a low percentage rate that like they're just there.
Also on the flip side, like to go the opposite direction, they tell you that degrees are required in so many places, but you get to those places and there will be people without degrees in the roles. For example, Carlos, my partner, he's always wanted to work with homeless youth, which he does right now. But when I met him 5 years ago, he was like the manager at a pizza joint, and he's working to get his associates. He's paying it out of pocket. He pays it up front, so he has no debt, but it's taking him, like 10 years to finish his associates. However, I bring this up because he's been at his job for 3 years now with no associates, no bachelors. He got promoted 4 times to be the program manager, which you technically need a bachelor's for that, or even a master's. If he had a master's, he could like create his own programs and run them. So like for his role, it actually would benefit him if he had his master's, but he thought he needed either an associate's or a bachelor's even to just get that job. And he's already, like he didn't, like he followed his responses and like, followed his joy and stuff. And, they noticed how amazing he is at this role and just like swooshed him in. And now there's all these people who are like, well, what about me? I did all this school. I have this degree. I have all the work. But I just think that it's a bunch of bullshit. And I think that per Kristen's whole life philosophy, like following our design, is more expertise than enough for serving the people who we're meant to serve.
So 90% of the corporate work that I did, I technically should have had an MBA to be allowed to be doing it, because I mean, like, I was in charge literally of millions of dollars, and most of them, like, I was the main person in charge. They didn't have anybody else doing it. I was the one saying, okay, this team's doing this team's doing this is our entire strategy, and then I'm bringing on people to oversee because I didn't want to do that part. But most of the companies, I mean, some of them are global companies, some of them are US nationwide companies, but they were used to only working with people who had MBAs. And it was the agency knew that launches was my thing and funnels were my thing. So they were just like, this is the person that you need. And it became, I was the person that did the entire strategy and got everyone else involved. And I would micromanage and write all the launch content because I have my own funnel system that I don't like other people to touch. But so it's, how do you value the expertise that you have? Mm-hmm. Have you recognized it for yourself? How can you recognize it for yourself? Mm-hmm. And how can you use it in a way where you are more conscious about it and that recognition is coming forward on the regular?
Yeah. And actually one clear answer to that is what you guys suggested with writing down like the hours. And like, I actually want to do that. That feels really good. And what I've learned and, having this written down, that's going to be a big step. And then also there's just the mindset piece and just really allowing myself to, and this is something I'm already working on, and that probably plays a role in the progress I've made so far. And I'm going to continue to work on is just mindfully, instead of criticizing what I've just said or I'm the worst, like I'll just criticize everything I create. I've now been really mindful instead to look at it and with love, like to look at it and receive it instead of like nitpicking it. It's like a very different focus. So coming at it from that more open-minded, absorbing, bringing, taking in what I've just created, sort of energy, that would help a lot is just, not nitpicking it and tearing it apart, which is going to take some practice for sure. But just being mindful of that and how I'm speaking to myself and what I'm thinking about my creations.
So I do like the book Anna's reading. I admittedly haven't finished it, but I liked what I started of it like 4 years ago or whenever it came out. Also, Every Word Has Power would be a good one. I can't remember who wrote it right now, but I can go find it. Is it over there? Is it in the other room? I don't know. I can go find it later and put it in the an Amazon link in the group. Just because like I read that when I first got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and it was that like what you're telling yourself is what is creating what's happening and how your brain translates it. Because to me, it was like I'd been taught to do, even if I was doing affirmations, to use not. And it went through the science of like your brain doesn't actually translate the not, it just skips over it. So you're affirming what you don't want. And it had me look at how I was speaking to myself and how I was thinking. And this was like college years. So like at that time, fuck my life was the thing everybody said as a phrase. And it made me think about like, oh shit, what are we all saying?
Actually, that was something I feel like that's still something I know, but it was something that I did say a lot in university because of all the stress and the course load. And yeah, we'd all just be like, fuck my life.
Yeah. I mean, it was just the catch thing right then. So what are the other things we've been conditioned to associate, or the ways we've been conditioned to speak to each other?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm going to drop it at that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Come back to us if there's more, because I had things I potentially wanted to add about your parents, but I think we had enough of that at the moment. I feel like it's complete and we can come back if we need to.
I agree. Thank you.
Okay. Fabulous. I need to take a stretch break. So we're going to take I don't know, 5, maybe 10, because I need to go grab food. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm going to go stretch real fast and grab some food. I will be back. And then Anna is next. Okay. Muting. Okay, I am catching up on the comments. I'm not sure how many people are here besides Anna. Let's see. Oh, yay. Yay for Kelsey's Realign and Shine helping a lot. What are you eating, Kelly?
This is leftover Korean fried chicken.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
It is like a problem. It's really good.
Did you
Sounds way better than my peanut butter toast.
Did you make it or did you
No,
get
there's this new Korean frickin' fried chicken. Nice. Joint that just opened up down the street a couple months ago. Maybe it's like 6 months ago now. I honestly have no concept of time, but they only have fried chicken, spicy, sweet, and like one other thing that you can get, and you can get rice on the side. But all they do is fried chicken. And it takes like 20 minutes. It's like a whole chicken. They chop it up with the bones in.
It sounds amazing.
It is amazing. Good stuff. What about you? What'd you get?
I just got some apple and prosciutto for now.
Yum. I love prosciutto.
Yeah, I grabbed the whole thing. I was like, I need protein. I didn't feel like having yogurt and like adding protein powder to it. This was the easy, fast solution.
Good snack.
Yeah, technically it's lunch, so I'm like, I'll have to eat something with more protein afterwards, but I had a late breakfast. Is everybody back? I think I saw Kelsey comment yes. So Lori is the only one, and Pam's having toast, which bread is so hard to find here. It's sad. I've honestly considered getting a flour mill and getting wheat berries and making my own flour because it is hard to find like flour that I can eat because it can't be enriched and like have any of the vitamins added. So I'm like, this would pay off really quick though. And Matt's like, $350 would pay off quick. And I'm like, but think of how often I could make bread.
Matt
And
knows he's
all of the varieties of flour.
the one doing the grinding, huh?
I'll get an electric one.
You need it on your farm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a hand one then because I was like, in case the generator goes out or something, I would need a hand one. But I don't know. It's on my list. We'll see. I think it would be fun to make my own flour. Okay. Well, I don't know where Kelly went, so we'll give her a moment to come back. We'll see if Lori comes back. I did my stretches where you guys couldn't see me, so you wouldn't see me do cat cow. You don't need to see my butt up in the air.
I want to see the baby bump.
Oh, that I can show you. There.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When it's sunny, I need to take a picture because I'm like, oh, I'm in 3rd trimester. I guess I should have a picture at some point. Oh. So when it's sunny, I'll take a picture, and then when we're like at, I don't know, 37, 38 weeks, Matt's gonna have to do a Photoshop. Yeah, I tried taking selfies, but it's hard to get selfies of a baby bump. I'm not skilled at this. So that's what we get. Funny story. So I've been thinking this baby is a fox, like energy spirit. And I was like, it's either fox, deer, or bunny. And I think like deer and bunny go together. And so I was like, okay, whatever. And I've been using a stuffed animal to prop up my tummy depending on where I'm sitting so that there's extra support. And last night Matt was like, so remember when we got my brother that stuffed animal for going to college? And I was like, yeah, I don't remember what we got. And he was like, well, he never took it. And it's a fox. Do you think it wasn't meant for him? And so now I have this fox that I'm like, oh, has this baby been around since like last May? We just ignored them. Oh, maybe that's why deer and bunny go together in my head. Okay, thank you for clarifying, Kelsey. That makes sense. But yeah, so now I have this fox that I'm cuddling with to see if baby appreciates it. I don't know. Maybe baby will talk to one of y'all. I don't know if you ever tried to get Anna. I think my baby was rude to her.
Not rude, just doesn't want to talk.
Hasn't wanted to talk to me much either, so.
I haven't tried very hard though.
I get like random things and nothing that's like cluing me into anything that I want to know.
I never sit down to communicate with babies. They just kind of pop in and I'm like, okay.
I mean, I feel like Soren used to do that with people. He would just randomly pop in, and then actually, since we don't know if this is girl or not, Unconceived Girl used to pop in on particular people during client calls that were open to it and would just like they'd start channeling, and it was very clearly from her, and it was like, not sure what's going on here, how to facilitate this, but okay, glad you're getting the info you need.
When babies due when? August?
August 8th, if we go by conception date, August 10th by ultrasound.
Pretty solidly Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we never know what the moon or the rising or other things will be. And either way, it is a Scorpio baby. Right.
Yeah, I mean, baby was conceived in very Scorpio times. So. Yeah. So Kelsey, the first ultrasound, or the second ultrasound said boy. However, they didn't print it out. Like normally they print out it's a boy and like point to the boy parts. And none of the pictures we have any sort of anatomy. It's just the two profile pictures and like a heart or something weird. Like, I don't need to see a picture of my kid's heart. Like, it's just a blob, whatever. And I spoke to my midwife when I was transferring, and she was like, yeah, so your OBGYN, everyone that we have seen from them before includes the, here is the gender. So maybe they weren't sure. And I was like, well, that's funny, because when I told Matt that all of y'all swore girl, pretty much, I think Anna maybe said boy, he had the same opinion as me of like when we were looking at it of like, oh, girl, and then she pointed to what we thought was a hand that was moving as the penis, and we were like, that's a hand, but you know more than us, so maybe. But I think that's a myth, but who knows, Kelly? I don't know, my belly is sitting different than with Soren. Because Soren was like real high up, and then he sank real low, and oh no, he did not have his vitamins this morning. I feel like he was real high at first, and then real low, but he was big. This baby's not so present, and it's still like all over the place, so I don't know.
These were entirely different, and I have two boys.
Yeah. So it'll be a nice surprise. I still kind of think girl, but we'll see. Yeah, it is interesting. I'm wondering if there's like something that like, if there was something the ultrasound would see that I would prevent me from delivering at home. And that's why I'm not supposed to know now, because if they knew, I'd have to deliver in the hospital with the OBGYN instead of with the midwives. So unsure. We'll find out in July or August. Hold on. Okay. I had to tell Matt that Soren did not get his gummies this morning. Yeah. And I'm like, the fox comes and goes, which is interesting, because then I'm like, it's really strong fox for like months, and then it'll be like deer, And then really strong fox again. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What do I buy? And at this point, I'm like, I'm not buying shit until you come out and I know what gender you are. And Soren's yelling at me because he opened up the baby drawers and was like, why isn't there enough pink? And I was like, because these are your clothes and we didn't dress you in pink because we didn't think you wanted to be dressed in pink. And he looked and he was like, well, this baby wants pink and technically teal, but green. And there was a third color, I don't remember. And more flowers and more stripes, but not dark blue. That's what my sister wants. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not spending money on this until. Shelby would point that out. However, genitals would determine if it is the child that I have seen before, because that child was very definitely born and stayed a girl. So that is my emotional tie there. Of like, is this child who has been with me since I was a teenager and still a virgin, or is this a new child that I have not met previously? No clue. We will find out. Okay, that's all my baby talk for now, unless you'll have more questions. I did buy a book today about like stories of babies communicating and what they do before the womb, because I hadn't read this one. So okay, Anna, are you ready? I'm gonna move my prosciutto over here.
I always forget what we're supposed to talk about on these calls, so I did write it down at the beginning.
It's okay. What color are you today? You're teal.
Okay, so wins. My youngest child graduated from high school. Yeah, thank God. This year has just been something, but you always hit that moment with your kids and they do something and you really just feel like it's your accomplishment, and that's kind of what this feels like. So we hit that point with him. And the other wins are more consistent energy for work. Like I'm able to exercise and work and do things around the house and not collapse. So that is a huge win. And I've been having some really good sales on Etsy. Like I'm having a hard time keeping up with my store, which is nice, obviously. Shifts, feeling more confident around my business, getting more clarity, and I'm putting more into my Facebook group as far as attention and, I don't know, leadership, just trying to help it grow, not grow as far as people, but grow as far as a group, I guess I would say. And then the thing that I could use support on is I did not actually have a groundwork or a ground offer. What do you call that? A base offer?
Groundwork,
thank you. I didn't actually have a groundwork offer, but then like after working with a couple of people, I was like, you know what, my crystal consults really need to be sort of a groundwork offer. But then I'm like, well, maybe they're too small. Maybe I need to pad it out a little bit more because it needs something else. I do have a couple of really good reviews from people in here who have had them. So that's nice, but like, it feels like it's too small of an offer to have as a groundwork offer.
is it still at the same price that we talked about? Is it a price small or is it like a energy small?
Both.
Okay.
Because, and I guess that's the thing, like I don't, you know, some people I just only see one crystal, and other people there's a lot of different crystals, you know what I mean? So like every time I look at you I see labradorite. That's not enough for a crystal consult.
But is it? I mean, is it maybe, are you supposed to dive in and tell me like why I still need labradorite, even though like right now I'm sleeping with it under my pillow? But like, why is it still coming through so strong? Are you supposed to dive in a little bit more of that as opposed to giving me another crystal prescription?
So that's where I'm stuck at, is trying to figure out how to pad that out more.
Okay.
Maybe it does need to be more like I don't know how to make it more intense.
Okay. So Kelly asked about the palm stones. I'll let you answer that first.
I do feel like you do more, like your work is more complex than I ever really know or grasp. I'm not sure.
You're kind of secretive, Anna, with all of your secret powers, and I don't really know the full range of all of your capabilities. Like, I was surprised to hear you do Reiki. You know, I thought you were just doing crystals, and now I hear you do Reiki, and then surprise, you also have all this horse stuff, you know, just on and on. It's always a surprise from Anna. So maybe you should tell us all your magic powers so we can integrate them.
You know, I've had some branding work done by somebody who does like psychic business questions and answers. And I had one from her, a reading from her on Friday. And she's like, you're very secretive. You're almost like a Scorpio. But I don't really feel like I am secretive. But she did say, like, she said, the problem with my business is I keep trying. I don't have a niche, and I don't have like a specific ideal client right now. Because I'm trying to figure out which of all of the pieces I want to focus on, and there's too many pieces. I'm also a medium, but I'm not doing mediumship readings because of my surgery. Like, it just, taking all of the medications and muscle relaxers and pain meds and stuff, it takes too much energy to recover from surgery, spine surgery, and do a mediumship reading. So
I would say you do have a niche, you just don't claim it.
What's that?
You have a niche, you just don't claim it. It's, yeah, pretty much as Lori said, your niche is being a crystal. Like, midwife isn't quite the right word, but midwife is always the word that I use because it's like you deliver the right crystal to the right person and usually explain to them why they need it. And I'm grabbing this one because it's like, this is the one that I always think of, and like the citrine that I didn't know that I needed, but kept speaking to me, and you knew it was for me, and you kind of gently directed me to it. The ones from this weekend where you just tapped into like, hey, by the way, does the baby want this? And then Soren confirmed that we need 3 of them. Like, that is what you do, is like, it's not just, oh, I'm selling you crystals because they're pretty or because they can help you, but because there's a very specific crystal energy that wants to be with you and that your body needs right now. And I'm going to help you figure out why you need it and how to use it.
Are the crystals your clients and your secondary clients are finding them homes? Possibly. There is something about that. That's actually how I got into all of this and left my paralegal career, actually. What is the role of a person that casts roles for movies? Like a
casting director?
Yeah, is it that?
You're like a crystal casting director.
Oh.
Or something.
Yeah, maybe. Crystal casting director, I like that.
And I would be curious to know what your north and south lunar nodes are in your astrology.
I think I have that somewhere, but I honestly don't remember. But it keeps coming back to healer too. Like I had an aura picture. There's this person who does aura art, and a long time ago I had ordered one from her, and then I just never sent her the pictures, but I finally got it back this weekend. And healer, like I have to do healing, and that just keeps coming around and around and around. So the crystal healing is where I have been with that. But
are you also healing by sending people it's like you're the pharmacist or you're the doctor, you're giving them the medicine they need in order to heal. Like, that alone is healing because you're giving people the medicine, the cure, the prescription, whatever. And it's obviously up to them to do the work, And if somebody needs a little, extra boost, they can come get extra medicine through the crystal healings. But the first part is like just delivering them the right crystal is the healing.
So maybe in the crystal consults, it needs to include sending them a crystal. Pad it out. That would help pad it out.
It's like they get a crystal between X price range, and if there is, or like X, no, I guess price range is easier than size. But it could just be like they get a palm stone, maybe, I don't know. And then if they want an additional support, then you can help them find that a similar crystal of that same type, or of these same types that are recommended and in your stock.
That's kind of why I liked the palm stones, because you have a set range and limit for those, but you're also intuitively picking it. And like the ones me and Carlos got were super cool, and he brought his to work and like sits with it every day, and the people ask him all the questions about it, and it's like a really cool stone. So it I forget what my point was now. Sorry.
I have that problem too.
I know, I was just like thinking about how cool the rock is, and then I lost my train of thought. But oh yeah, so even for the feng shui for abundance like workshop, like I originally was thinking you sending a crystal with them, but maybe that's too much work for that. But as like a groundwork intro offer, I think that's such a cool, like I said yes to it right away. I loved the palm stones. I loved how you picked it out for me. I loved the little message that came with it. And it did make me want more, because you could feel how like energetically aligned it was, you know.
And to piggyback off of that, we're just vibing everywhere. The week that Kristen was talking about pendulums, and then I was like, oh, Anna, pendulum. And then you sent me one, and then instantly we were BFFs. Like that pendulum and I, we just have great days. It was a little mad at me last week, but I took a shower and then we were fine. But anyway, so then like 2 weeks later, I was like, okay, Kristen said that getting crystals is like an addiction, so I'm not even going to look. And then you had one of your sales on Instagram. I spent almost $200. And so then I was like, okay, my point is like, once someone has a taste test of how you do what you do, it literally just is like, here's what you need. Because I thought I just needed this one little crystal, and you provided me with so much. I mean, it helped me set up my whole altar. So I'm saying all of that to say is like, I think you already have that fleshed out for the consultation. It's just at the time you were doing it, you didn't realize that's what you were doing.
Yeah, like from the 3 stones I bought, I already have like a list of all of the like, okay, so these are the things that we need for the house, and I need to figure out when it is. But I really, honestly, I should probably just send you the list, and then you can tell me when the right stones come in. But it's like I have the list. I know they're only supposed to come through Anna, and like, when I started talking, I'm like, the baby wants a crystal. It has to come from you. Like, you are the only person who can deliver the right crystal to this baby, and that is the only thing I know about, because the baby won't tell me shit.
Well, and she didn't even tell me. It was through Soren that it came through what she wanted.
Which, yeah, not exactly surprised. I mean, he potentially has named the baby, so. But it's still to you. Like, you are still the messenger. You are still the only person who can make sure that the right crystal comes to the right person. And the 2 that you originally sent were the ones that he said were for me and baby. He was just waiting because he wanted to find the right one for him, which he's 4. That's that's kind of how it works.
Collaborator, I like that too. I guess that could be another, I was thinking about what Lori said about the altar. That could be another groundwork offer, is the altar, helping people set up an altar. I like that, Lori. Good, thank you.
And it could be specific to particular, goals or intentions.
And to like energy.
Or feng shui directions.
So Kelly's Yin Gateway offering had 3 or 4 things to choose. So when I was doing that, it really let me check in with myself. So you could have that loose structure of whether it's personal, family, whatever, how you break that up. So then people have that energetic on-ramp to have that self-shift moment, and then you come in and be that conduit.
Yeah, creativity altar, sleep altar, dream house / property altar. Huh. That seems like a popular theme right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm thinking so I am planning on getting a terrarium table and putting it in my wealth corner and putting all my client pyramids on top, which means I need to have energies underneath that can both help my clients gain and retain wealth while also protecting them from outside energy without having to have that side of my desk be that. And I'm thinking like that's basically a wealth altar that is, something that you could help people set up, and it may not have to be on that scale because not everyone needs to fill a giant table of crystals, but helping them set up, here are a few focal pieces to help hold the energy of what you are creating.
Throw the energy in.
And I think that may have been kind of where you were going when you considered doing that manifestation workshop. It just wasn't quite connected. And I think this piece was missing. It needed maybe instead of teaching people how to do it, you give them a little bit of teaching, but they also just really need to receive the items from you, or receive we're just going to use prescription because that's how my brain's translating it. Receive the prescription from you.
Making an altar could be a really fun challenge. And then the upsell could be purchasing the crystal at the end to really anchor in those intentions.
Oh, I love that, Kelly. That is awesome. Because I've been thinking about challenges too. And I was like, well, self-care challenge. Nope, that's not it.
Yeah, I love the idea of this as a challenge.
So we're all signing up today, Anna.
I always have altar building as like the 4th step in my eventual program journey for the Mint Passage, but it's so far and down and away, but it's also a really important needed thing. And so I think you're a perfect person to do that, since, the bare minimum of an altar is basically a space and a something. So even if you just have a spot on one crystal, like that's a beautiful altar.
Well, and I think people are getting more into that. Like they're starting to, especially since we're all stuck in our homes, they want like a little sacred space.
Yeah.
Which is self-care, and that's why that like self-care piece keeps coming back in. It's like a challenge. You can help them figure out what are they creating this altar for. Is it wealth? Is it a new house? Is it whatever, a relationship? Is it just to feel secure in their body with everything going on, blah, blah, blah. And then take a couple other days to walk them through, like, here are the pieces that may be good. Here is how to set it up. Here are general crystal suggestions. And then at the end, offer them a consult where they can receive a intuitively picked crystal based off of their intentions and the altar they have already created.
Okay, so my pricing then, if I'm working on that type of consult where we sit down and talk about their intentions and what they probably need for that and connecting them to the crystal, that's more like a 30 to 60-minute call, right?
I think you could do it without the call. They could just tell you their intentions in a message.
Okay.
But I would still raise the price.
Well, you'll be proud of me. I've been going through slowly and raising the prices on some of my crystals.
Yay. I meant to show you one the other day because I was just browsing Etsy just to see like crystals, to see like what does baby respond to. And it never crossed my mind to be like, what do you have that's not in your shop online? Because I knew it wasn't anything that you had. There was something that was like essentially this. It might have been slightly bigger, but it was like double the price. And I was like, I'm not complaining because I grabbed this at a steal, but not really, while it benefited me. I may have to go back and see if I can find it because, I don't know, all the pieces I've had from you are amazing. And I
So
think
it was a my shop and it was twice the price?
I don't remember what I paid for this, but no, I was looking somewhere else and it was priced higher. And it was essentially this. Like, I went and compared and I was like, I held it to see the size and it was a little bigger than mine, but I didn't think being slightly bigger would double the price. It was just they were charging more and everything in their shop seemed to be at that elevated price and they seemed to be doing okay. They had lots of sales. So
Well, it's funny because I've been noticing there are some people who say that all of their crystals are ethically sourced, and it's like they can feel like they can charge a premium for it, and it's like, well, I actually know the supplier because I buy from them in Tucson, and really, I don't know. There's some sales tactics that kind of.
but instead of responding to it privately, those are the things your audience needs to know.
Yeah.
It is different to buy something from you because you literally know where every stone came from. And I don't remember if it was this one, but one of them, I remember like you gave me a whole background on it. It was like, I've had this for this long and it came from here. And, like you gave me the whole like history of this crystal. And I'm like, normally when I buy crystals, it's just somebody hands it to me and goes, okay, give me the money now.
Well, it's the midwife thing. It's because they're my babies and I need to know where they came from.
But that is something very different than what most people provide.
That's true. And they have to speak to me. If they don't speak to me, I'm not passing them on. Knowing where every stone comes from is so valuable. Well, I don't know where every single one of them comes from, but I'm very selective about who I buy them from. I should talk about that on my Instagram. I will make a note of that as well.
How are you delivering the consults right now?
Over Instagram DMs or Facebook DMs, or that's pretty much it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if mine was just more casual because we were in conversation or not, or if that's how they generally all go. Okay.
That's pretty much how they all go. I haven't actually offered it as a thing. It's more of like somebody comes to me and starts talking about crystals and then we get into it. But
okay. So I think you could potentially think about how would you want to deliver it? Do you want to deliver it in the same way? Do you want to give them a little like PDF that tells them their 1, 2, 3 crystal suggestions and a little bit of information on the energy of that crystal? I think at the prices we've talked about, it can just be a simple PDF. If you wanted to get on a call, you could. I don't think that's necessarily needed.
maybe I should do it over Voxer just because I actually enjoy the conversation part of it.
Okay. So then maybe it's just a Voxer conversation where you tap in, you get to know who they are a little bit first, and then you give them their things. You can send them, and if say it's a palm stone, you could send them like what you did with the jasper, send them a picture of or the bloodstone, 6 of them, and have them tell you which one speaks to them so that they're starting to tap into the stone.
Oh, I don't do that for everybody.
Oh no? Okay. Okay, don't do that.
So there are certain people that I know like to be really involved in their crystal selection. So I'll put out a bunch of them and then I'll think which ones that I think they should have and then see which ones they pick.
Okay.
But other people, I just send them the picture of the ones that I know are supposed to be for them.
Okay, that is fair. But you could do that. And then you could, here is your crystal. Here's what it will do for you. If you would like to, use it more, we could talk about finding a more specific piece for you.
So if I do it over Vox or conversations like that, is that pricing still good or should I raise it more?
How long do you think it would take you?
Probably 20, 30 minutes.
What was the last price? 27? 37?
26.
I'd raise it a little bit. I mean, I guess it's doable, but.
Pam, that is hilarious because 4 is my number for the year.
Okay, there we go.
Kristen, I think it was Kristen and I, or maybe it was Shelby, we were talking about adding 4s to pricing, and every time that I do that, everything sells like that.
Okay, then 44 it is.
I'll play around with that.
44 it is. Oh, you could jump up if you wanted. Like you could go from, what was it, 26? You could do like 34 and then feel into like, does 44 feel more aligned? And, or like, I don't know.
For reference, on my landing page, I said your 15-minute mini consult was valued at $35. So yeah, double that for your 30.
Okay, that feels good. It does seem like Kristen and I have to go incrementally with my pricing for things.
Sometimes the energy needs time to adjust, and that is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even just tack on 44 cents to the end of something. Like if you wanted to stay at 26, it can be 26.44 for now, and then like after the first 4 people, it changes price.
I sometimes have to sit down and remind myself about my billable hourly rate when I was at the law firm. And then I'm like, oh God, I am not charging enough.
But you are adapting and you are integrating, so.
Yeah, and this is new. It's only been 2 years. So.
Okay. Does this feel like a better groundwork offer?
Yes, it does actually.
Yay!
Thank you for helping me flesh it out, guys.
You're welcome. Also, I like this challenge. I'm just going to reiterate that.
I do too. That is so perfect, Kelly, because I've been like messing around with it and going round and round and round. We went up in the mountains yesterday and I have like 3 pages of notes trying to figure out what my challenge and my groundwork offer was. And it kept circling the drain until you said that. So.
Yay!
Thank you.
Okay. I'm assuming since you muted, you feel complete. Okay. You're going to cap teal. Then do. My brain is. Kelsey, are you the only person left? Have we neglected you?
I'm here. No, I don't feel neglected. Is it my turn?
I think it is. Kelly went last time. Lori went last time. It is your turn. Everybody else.
Awesome. Just gonna unplug my phone. My charger just fell down anyway.
I'm going to decide on a color for you. Okay. I don't know that I like any of these colors for you. I'll just go with this.
What you got?
You're pink.
I'm pink.
I think you really want to be green, but it's in the other room. So here we are.
I will accept pink. I need to warm up to pink anyway.
It's bright pink too.
Is it very flamboyant?
It's
ooh, nice.
hot pink.
Very cool. For some reason my phone is not charging. I'm gonna switch my devices real quick. It should take me like 10 seconds. But yeah, it's being weird right now and it's kind of freezing.
Okay.
Do. There, I'm back. Did it work?
Yes.
Yay. Okay, so winds, shifts, and guidance, right? So winds. Yeah, okay, so winds are realign in China has been going beautifully. Like that is my jam. That's my thing. Yeah, and I'm just so excited. Thanks, Kelly. And also, there's a part of me that recognizes, okay, so this is mind stuff, but it's like I'm not doing enough yet, but I'm getting there. But also at the same time, with the shifts that I have been doing, just really infusing my energy into everything. Now that I'm really clear on what it is, and just kind of how to do it, how to convey it, I've been getting a lot of compliments and messages, people reaching out to me, trusting me right away, and just wanting to be in my energy, and also just saying, like, I love your content, I love your posts, and I love, because I was nervous about like the whole posting on my personal page and wanting to post personal stuff so people would know me, but also the stuff that I'm, I guess, like expert in, right? So, but that's going really, really well, really beautifully, because people are getting to like know me and trust me as a human being, but also know that I know stuff that can help them. And I've been getting messages and comments really reflecting that. And that's a really big win for me. That feels really good, because that's like, this is me being fully me, and I'm about to be even more fully me now that I'm figuring out how to put it out there and how to do that, how to show up as that. So yeah, that's a big win for me. I think that was it. I did make some notes so that I didn't forget anything. Shifts. So much has been shifting around. I can't find it now. But yeah. So Emerge has been shifting a lot. It's very cool. It's kind of funny. It's almost like I can't keep up with it. Like every time I think I've got it, it's like, you know this, I've been doing this for over a year, and it just completely just like shape shifts. But it's good because it's fitting into even more what it is. It's very much what I have been wanting, what my soul has been wanting to speak about for a long time. But it's also okay that I haven't yet, because it hasn't been ready yet, because there was more development that needed to happen within me before I could even figure out how to get it from inside of me to out. And that's starting to happen with this Emerge program. Same time. So that was my shift, right? Emerge is shifting, yeah. Yeah, so that's what I would like support on, for sure. I need to get this baby out there now. Like, I need to stop, scratching at it and batting at it over here in my own little world. I need to get outside of my head in a lot of ways, and just get really clear. I think it is structure that I need. A big part of the thing stopping me is just being really annoyed at, I guess, myself for not knowing things that that almost are like second nature to people who are doing courses and programs. Because my jam and my most favorite thing, and I don't know if that'll change or when that'll change, is one-on-one by far. That's when I shine. That's my favorite thing. But I do feel inclined to, and I do feel it's important to do group programs as well. And once I'm in them, once I'm doing them, I'm definitely in my element. I feel really good about it. But it's just the creation. It just stresses me out so much and takes so much energy. Even just like the little things that might be like nothing to somebody else. It's just like, to me, it's like, holy fuck, I just spun out for an hour and a half on something that would have taken perhaps 10 minutes or should have taken 10 minutes. But yeah. So I've got some questions around that. Quinn is saying, I can relate. Yes. You too, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so first, I don't think creating courses comes naturally to most people. I think most people have had some sort of training, whether it's vague or not, on creation of programs and courses. And I could go down a rabbit hole because I feel like most people actually need more, but I don't have time to create that thing right now. So tell us about, since everything is shifting, what are the things you absolutely know about Emerge right now? How long is it?
Okay, so it's going to be 8 weeks.
Okay.
It's funny, I didn't know that like 7 seconds ago. I was like, I don't know, 6 or 8, so it's going to be 8 weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
What are they focusing on?
Okay, so emotions.
Doing what with their emotions?
Okay, so processing, learning to live with. Hang on, I do want my notes here. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh. See, my brain is already trying to spin out. Do. Where did you go? Okay, so I'm just going to read some notes, and maybe like this will answer your question, and this will help maybe highlight some stuff. So basically, we're here in this world to learn to best regulate our emotions and harness our minds so that life can work for us. So this is not so much this is not like just a mindset thing. This is far beyond mindset. This is energy, and this is emotion, because emotion is energy. This is about embracing our emotions, even the painful and dark ones, rather than trying to shut them down or bypass them. So welcoming them, listening to them, learning the messages, hearing the messages, and then leveraging on those messages and allowing them to move on in a natural way. Instead of trying to escape or distract from discomfort, we learn to work with it in better and more effective ways, getting more comfortable with discomfort, but then not staying there, right? Because then when people think that when I go into the shadows, it means like I'm going to be engulfed by the shadows and that's where I'll live. But this is about letting them drop down a little bit so that they can actually finally release a bunch of stuff that needs to be released. And see, even as I speak right now, this is where I am ping-ponging and getting stuck. It's like, well, this is really fucking deep. This is not 8 weeks worth of stuff. This is like a long time's worth of stuff. But that's what in my work, I want to go deep with people. And that's why I'm so inclined to do longer term stuff. But I know you said that we can do like 8 weeks, break it down, make it really simple, and then invite them into something bigger, right? I'm just not 100% clear on how to do that, like how to lay that out yet. And how to like divvy up the information or.
Okay. So there were 4 main concepts that I heard when you were saying all of that. So processing your emotions, regulating your emotions, aligning your emotions, and releasing them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted, it could be 2 weeks per one of those. 2 weeks for processing, 2 weeks for regulating, 2 weeks for alignment, 2 weeks for releasing.
Oh, I like that. Mm-hmm. That's doable.
There may need to be something that they get in the between coming in and that first week to help them get clear on what emotion they're focusing on and just help to narrow it down, because as you said, they're not going to go but so deep. And 8 weeks, depending on price, it could be maybe you have a call with them, like a realign and shine beforehand, and then it flows into the group. So that way you're getting the one-to-one that you feel comfortable with. And then you're still supporting everyone together at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yes. Because I crave the one-on-one with people. It's not even just like, oh, I think I need to give this to the person. It's like, I need that too, like for that connection and for me to give the fullness of what I want to give, and for that intimacy and all of it. I'm such a one-on-one person. Yeah, I like that. And I like that it's like realign and shine. I already have that. It's like I don't have to invent something else and then go down that hole. And yeah, I like it.
To me, Merge is basically teaching them how to do realign and shine by themselves.
Yes.
So it's like you peel off the layer by taking them through it.
Yeah.
And you do the first realign and a shine session so that they can start getting momentum and moving.
Yeah.
And that way, then they're capable of actually going through the process themselves.
That clicks something into place in such a big way. Oh, this is so cool. I love how you weave everything together because for me, there's like all of these separate pieces before. Yes, I knew there was a way to weave it. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. That would feel really good. Okay.
Okay,
And
so
then for okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. So,
I'm gonna say, so for pricing, you and I chatted, and the last we chatted was $250 USD per month, right? So, or like one payment of $444.
but now it has to change because we're adding in a realign and shine session.
I know. I was just gonna, yeah.
Remind me what the price at currently? 147, 44?
147, yeah, for the pandemic, and then regular 222.
So we'll use the 147 for now.
Mm-hmm.
And on your next round of this, you can do the 222. Okay, so we had said what, 250 a month previously? Sorry,
Yeah.
numbers just don't stick in my head right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Would anything between 300 and 333 a month feel good to you? Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. USD?
Yes. Is that what the hesitation was about?
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Okay. So I'm like, we don't want hesitation. Hesitation usually means
I think I'm a little bit confused too, because we're adding the realign and shine, but did we just drop the price? Oh, no, you said per month, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
gotcha.
Does a month feel good? Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Does 311 a month feel better? Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Does 322 a month feel better? Uh-huh.
It's but I don't know why.
Okay. Does 333 a month feel better? Uh-huh.
But
Okay.
it's not like it's like the number itself. It's weird. It's not like, oh, that's too much money. It's just like the number itself came up as an inside of me. So I don't know what that was.
Does
311 feels good.
Okay. Does 315 feel better?
But I'm more attracted to 311 for some reason.
Okay, we can stick with 311 then. Just end it there. Okay, 311 a month.
Yeah.
So 2 payments of 311, or I don't know. You could do like 1 payment of 575 or something.
Okay.
If you really wanted, you could do. No, I'm not giving you that option. We're not giving you too many options. No, those are your options. You give them a pay in full, or they can pay 311 a month.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hate too many options. I really get stuck when there's too many. So yeah, cool. So yeah, I'll give them those 2 options, pay in full or 2 payments. Do you mind posting this right after or whenever you can in the group, just so that I can come back and listen to this?
Yeah, it just has to process first, and it'll be a while.
That's okay. But yeah, okay, that'll be really helpful. Sweet. There's a little bit of blocks coming up now, actually quite a bit of blocks. What would you recommend? What type of energy work or video to rewatch or anything to work on opening up to really hold space for this? Because immediately my energy's like, people are not going to pay that, and I'll be lucky if I get 1 person.
Okay, which
So that's a lot of money. Like I'm just sitting here thinking that's a lot of money for 8 weeks, because I've never made something that high at that price before, especially USD.
So I would do Shelby's clearing from the bundle. I don't remember what the actual name is, but it's a clearing. And then I would do the quantum clearing from, I think it's like lesson 1, like the one we start off with the book.
Okay.
And the I don't remember what she called it. the group Reiki where she'll be like, what did she say the words are not coming to me. There was one about like activating your power. I can't remember what she actually called it. That's what I called it in my head.
Okay.
I might be able to ask her. She might be able to tell me more directly later.
Okay.
However, this is something lovely for me to respond to because this is like the third time I've gotten this question, and we keep meaning to put like a little FAQ question in your dashboard so it can be like, I want to make more money. I watch these. I want to change this mindset. I watch these. So
That's handy. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
that may be what Ardelia does while I'm on maternity leave.
Cool.
But I would start with those two. And also I would try to pinpoint like what's underneath that, because I am pretty sure, I guess you have it in USD, but in CAD wasn't like between 250 to 350 your sweet spot?
I don't remember, actually.
I was thinking that's what it was. Because I remember
Yeah.
I was pretty sure it was higher than 250.
Yeah, I think it was 333. Because, yeah, 333 was okay, I guess.
The only difference is that you're doing it in USD.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just energy.
Okay.
That's completely man-made.
What do I do if Canadian people are like, hey, how come aren't you in Canada? Like, how come you're charging USD? Like, I don't even know how to answer that.
Because I speak to a global audience and USD is the easiest to transfer.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, that just like fairy godmothered the fuck that out of the way. Okay, cool. For titles, I think I have a title, but I just want to kind of feel through the two. So I've got close to the one that Shelby recommended, Emerging Through Shadows, Lessons and Strategies for Embracing the Power Within Your Shadows. And then I've just got Emerging Through Shadows into Consciousness. And that was just sort of pieced together based on sort of the principles that I work on. But it doesn't necessarily really flow. The one, I've never done a really long title either. So like Emerging Through Shadows, Lessons and Strategies for da-da-da-da-da. Any recommendations on that? Like,
I feel like we're missing the element that it's more, the work you're doing is greater than just emerging from shadows. You're actually integrating some of the shadow aspects. So it's kind of like integrate and emerge, you know, there's like an integration of the duality that's happening before. It's like you're emerging from a yin yang more than you're emerging from a shadow, if that makes sense.
true. And one thing that I do want to keep emphasizing, and I just don't really know how to do it, is that, and I've said this a couple times, it's not even just about emerging from shadows, but it's about embracing what does emerge when we're in them, right? So, because a lot of people try to like fight their emotions or think like, oh my gosh, I'm depressed, this is a terrible thing, I gotta like fight it. Instead of embracing what really is emerging from there and really honoring that within yourself. I think that's just like so key to what this message in this program is. It's like, how do I put that in a title?
What about like embrace and integrate or something?
Yeah.
So Pam asked questions. What I had was Emotion Phoenix.
Ooh.
Maybe that's the winner. Because I wanted
Energy.
emotion
Oh, hell
to
yeah.
be in it so that we know emotion is what we're working with. Because when you say emerging through shadows, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Right.
Well, if you say emotion something, I'm like, okay, we're doing something with my emotions. And when you were talking about, I don't know, when you and Kelly, one of you said something, and that made me think of like Rising Up from the Ash. And here we are.
I love Phoenix energy. That is like all about, oh yeah, that's just like so my soul. And I know Phoenix is like really, I guess, cliche. Everybody's got tattoos of it and stuff like that. But I love Phoenix energy. Rising from the ashes, anything like volcanic and like, oh, hell yeah.
I didn't know Pam had a Phoenix tattoo.
What's that?
I didn't know Pam had a Phoenix tattoo. She just waved it at us. We need a better picture.
No, I missed it. And I'm missing the chats too. I have to go back and screenshot all these.
Yeah. I'll have Ardelia put them in the dash when she uploads stuff to the dash as well. I'm not gonna put it in the group because it's annoying to put text things in the group.
Yeah.
Okay, is emotion or emotional Phoenix the title? Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay.
Why do you think?
Because I'm like this might be a head thing, but like I'm like, well, I've been working on something called emerge for like however long, something about something emerging.
So
maybe I can still put that.
Have a tagline about emerging from your emotional patterns. Or what did you say before? Hold on.
Or embracing what emerges. Hell yeah. This
emerging into like emotional alignment so your life works for you, not against you.
Yeah. Getting way closer. Yeah, that's the material that I need for sure. That's it. Emotion Phoenix. Oh my God. So good. Yes.
Kind of sounds like a band name. Hello, kitty. We have seen so many creatures today. It is fantastic. You look so happy.
That's adorable. Yes, emotion Phoenix. That's the fucking thing. Mm-hmm. Like it's gotta have the fire, and it's gotta have. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep, that feels good. A lot more clear. Okay, cool. And then I just want to bring up the rest of my notes just to see. So what I did have jotted down. If I can find it again. Where did you go? Week. Damn it. That's okay. I have like 50,000 notes and now I'm just kind of getting lost in them. So my next step is to structure it based on basically take all the notes that I have and then put them in an icing squeezer and then squeeze them into those topics that we did for the weeks. I don't remember what they were now, but when I rewatch this, I'll write it all down.
Processing, regulation, alignment, and releasing. Mm-hmm. But it's also essentially just leading them through realign and shine and just like how to go through the process themselves. That's what I want you to keep coming back to instead of spiraling into like, oh, I need to create this about this. It's right. Just, this is a 8-week version of realign and shine, but teaching you how to do it.
Because that's where I get stuck thinking I have to invent the wheel every single time I do something.
No, think about how you already lead people through realign and shine. Yeah. And I would honestly start there before starting with these emotions necessarily, or these pillars, because you can get it to connect afterwards, but what is the process you already take people through, and how can you teach that and have them, do exercises to go through it and have them do it without your support?
Okay. That's new for me, but I've already got the material, so I just need to, I guess, reconfigure it, put it together in a different way. Okay, cool. So energy exercises, I'll be leading them through. And then the one thing that I'm really ping-ponging back and forth on, I actually like, it's an if I want to ask myself if I really want to do it, but is doing weekly Zoom support sessions.
No.
No.
No. Stop making this more intensive than it needs to be.
Yeah.
What you can do is you can have pre-recorded healing sessions or meditations and stuff that they work through. There can be 2 max a month of in-person if needed. There could just be 1. But they do not need to see your face every single day or every single week. Because you've got to hold the container.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hold the container if you're exhausted doing all the things.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that is an exhausting thought to me, and I hate having to wrangle people and like, okay.
Your job is not to wrangle them. They show up or they don't.
I know. And then when I did that before, it'd be like one person shows up and it's like, well, fuck, this is just really awkward.
Sometimes only one person shows up.
Yeah. Okay. And then when you said do it like once, like in person once per month, do you mean like a Zoom? Or do you mean, okay, so where we all come on, okay.
So yeah, there could be, I would say 2 max, but I think 1's probably fine for this price range. 1 call, you can lead them through a little bit of some type of energy work and then have them do like reflections and, you know, it could be kind of like this call. They can reflect on what's changed for them and then talk about one area where they need a little bit of extra support and get that support.
Yeah, okay.
If that's new to you, I would only do 1 because, as we know, Shelby and Ardelia have been after me to keep mine to a particular time limit for forever, and we have yet to do that very often. So it may take more energy / time than you expect.
Okay, that's okay. Sounds good. I can do that. Yes, I can handle that. Perfect. Anything else that you would recommend as far as what to lead them through? So I basically got a shit ton of material and I really need to like whittle it down. So I need to be able to look at it and be like, okay, so I will just like save this bulk for like when they decide to go to one-on-one after this, or, you know, versus what are the important points to put in the 8-week program without overdoing it, but still delivering like mad value so that they're getting that transformation.
They're already getting mad value. What is the minimum amount that they need in order to get shifts?
Okay.
And that's the consistent question to keep asking, because if this energy work, you know, if a tapping this week is going to give them that shift, they don't need anything else that week.
Right. Okay.
Lori had suggested earlier in the comments doing like 1 content week, or content could be, you know, energy work, and then an integration week, or it could be 1 content week and 1 energy work week if that feels good. But having that kind of guideline so you don't give too much.
Okay.
And normally I tell people there's no such thing to give too much, but otherwise I'm limiting you, or you'll be like Facebook Living every day.
Right. Because I would. I'm done.
We're not doing that anymore.
And it stressed me out so bad. Oh man. Okay, cool. And also I get that it's not good for them either. Like it's just information overload. It's like there's not enough integration time for sure. So yeah, I've learned that. Okay, and then we talked about the transformation, and I feel like this is really important. And I wrote that down. And I just want to chat that out real quick. Down into little steps. And then am I advertising this a beta?
No.
Okay.
I mean, unless you get a sacral need to.
I don't necessarily, but then in the whole integrity thing, it's like, well, I am intending this to be a beta because I'd love for this to be bigger eventually, or just be like a central program in which I will charge more for it as it goes along.
I think you can say, this is the first time I'm running this program. The prices will change this time. That's what I did the first round of spellbinding sales. It was hey, this is the first time I'm running this. The structure is going to change next time. The prices are going to be at least double. if you need this price range, get in now.
Okay. That I can do. I actually get a sacral on talking about a beta. I don't know why. It's just like, just a yeah.
Because it's sometimes it can be underselling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can be like, I don't believe in this program, so I need to get.
Right.
And you already know the program works. Oh, how did my plant end up under my desk? That's weird.
I was gonna say if it's like something that's experimental or a test, but like you already have your single session realign and shine, so like those kind of felt like the beta to me.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
That is what I was saying before I got distracted by the plant. Thanks.
What kind of plant is it?
A dead one, sort of.
Oh.
I mean, it's half dead. It is revived. It's devil's tongue. But like this dead piece was poking me and I'm like, what do you do? I think I must have taken it off my desk because I didn't want it in any of the quadrants because it looked really sad.
It's a sad at some point you should just throw them away.
Well, this one is like re-emerging.
We'll replant it.
And so is this one. But this one's not doing so good and I should need to just like pull it up, I think.
They like to be crowded in their pot.
Oh, do they?
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe it needs to go in I have another one over there that's only 2 of them and like one that I probably should remove because that's the relationship corner and one looks a little dead. But I think I moved this one because it was in my wealth corner and I was like, oh, let's put my Patron over there. But yeah, I guess I just put it on the floor and forgot about it. Poor thing. It happens. But yeah, so you've already been doing this. It's just you're doing it in a slightly new structure.
Totally. Yeah. That helps things flow so much better. So much better. Really laying the foundation here for what I'm about and what I'm doing. Okay. Cool. And then for the transformation, I just have some notes here because I was really exploring that and it just kind of seems vague to me. So I've got helping them to grow and relax into their challenges more, learning the lessons that life is asking them to learn. I think that's a really big one. So of course, also helping them get more awake, get more conscious of their inner world, to have the kind of relationship with their inner world, their emotional world that allows them to best fulfill their potential, which is vague, but that's nutshell. Learning and growing from the experience of being an emotional being, just embracing that. And they'll work through their emotions, listen to them, embrace them, live with them, metabolize and assimilate them, and release and move on to the next experience.
So I think these are the transformations that you need to be aware of, but I don't know if these are the transformations that they need to hear.
Right.
The people who have done this can answer. I will fully confess that I have not signed up to do one with you because there are all at times I can't do them.
Oh, shoot.
It's okay. It's just I'm not hopping on a call at 7:00 at night right now. But I feel like it's almost more of like what we tell them is almost more of like that tagline of like realigning your emotions so that your life can work for you. And that kind of covers all of the other pieces. And then you can use those as pillars that you talk about in content to lead in. But like some of them, like I think I made a face at one and Pam laughed. And it wasn't because I didn't like the pillar, but I'm like, people aren't going to understand what that does for them.
Exactly, yeah.
Because a lot of those were just so intangible. Like people need to understand, what is this actually going to change in my life and why should I be investing time, money, energy into this?
Right.
And earlier you had mentioned that energy and emotions are similar, or that emotions are energetic. And so from my experience, it really was confirmation that I'm an energetic being. And part of that is being a non-energy projector. And part of that also is, that like inner stuff of thinking like, there's nothing special about me. So at least from my takeaway, it really is that I am an energetic being because I could feel you doing your work. So that might also be another way, or one of those words where people are, because emotions can be really big. So a potential on-ramp or like buffer from the overwhelm that might happen with the word emotions could be energy, just to offer that out. But that was my experience if I had to distill it down to like one thing.
Yeah, cool. I like that. Thank you. And Kelly says, how to recognize the indicators of each emotion as it presents itself. Okay.
Which that awareness might be something that is like in the content leading people into this, helping them recognize that their emotions are linked to energy and how it could be showing up in their life right now and what it could be keeping them from moving into. So that they get that idea of like, oh, I'm feeling this emotion. It is playing out this way in my life and I can't reach this goal because of it. They have that like, oh, if I, actually invest time into healing this, then I can, accept this piece of myself, or I can allow myself to be seen, or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
That way it makes that connection of, I definitely couldn't correlate what that comment was at first, and I was like, what creep girl in her chest? I was like, did Quinn have a demon I didn't know about? And that's where my brain took that, and I was like, oh, the toxic chick.
I was wondering about that too. I'm like, whoa, I don't remember that. Okay, yeah. So this is helping a lot, just helping to like chat it out. Because totally it is cliche and really annoying to say like, oh, we're going to help you clear things so that you can reach your highest potential and be your very best self, right? Like that's not the message I'm trying to give people. That's just like the sort of pathway. And also, so now that we're talking, I've got sort of two branches here, which is like exactly what I want to do. And so now I want to tie it all together. So you know how I'm all about tying like mind, body, soul together, and how our physical vessel has so much to do with our soul experience. And so helping people understand themselves as energetic beings and working in the energy of things. But I also very much, in a lot of the notes and content that I have, is attaching this to their physical body, how sometimes they're stuck in a physical state of sorts. So say like just uncomfortable in their body, whether it's they want to lose weight or they're just having like digestive issues or whatever it is, because of the stuck emotions, and helping to move those. That's really important to me to fit into here. But I've been resisting talking about that in the transformation, because then I'm going back down that same neural pathway or neural highway where it's like health coach, right? Okay.
You're focusing on the emotion. It just plays out for them in different ways. It's just one piece of it's one pillar you can speak to of what can change. And you're going to be focusing on talking about how this emotion and this energy stays stuck in this part of your body, and this is how it shows up. And you can talk about how it shows up physically and energetically in the same post if you want to, so you get all aspects and it's not just body. I have no problem with it being just body, because it is a nice transition for the people who have been used to you doing health coaching into like, oh, this is what it looks like when there's an energy aspect, and this is what's causing the thing that keeps people sick. And now she's just healing the root of what's causing people rather than healing the symptoms.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's better.
We're going deeper with the same thing. Yeah. And like it's all the same energy. It's just you're going deeper and you're expressing it deeper now.
Totally. Yeah. And that's exactly where my passion is. And that's where my like my expertise is. So hell yeah. Cool. Right. I have a lot to work with, which is so good. All right. And then can you like playfully throw a deadline just so I can fucking stick to it and just like start putting it out there for marketing it?
Yes. Let me look at my astrological calendar, unless Kelly has a date already.
I feel like looking at the calendar always helps, because it's like, how do you want your clients to feel? Because then you can look at the moon, or if you want to look at the human design lines. Like I liked the idea of having my program be the one I haven't made yet, but having it be a manifestor program, so I could just inform people the information and they can take it and do what they will. So it's kind of like, do you want a program where you're guiding people, so you want projector energy, for your program, or do you want to just tell people and let them live their life like me? Or, you know, I think it's always fun to look at dates, depending on the energy for how you want your clients to receive.
Yeah, okay, so this is all new to me. This is like an exciting buffet of stuff, but I have no idea.
What's your moon sign?
I don't remember. Oh my God. I just learned all these things about myself too, so.
That could be an indicator, because that could be, that's generally how people are attracted to, like your clients want to feel the way that your moon sign makes them feel when your moon sign's aligned and lit up.
Okay.
So if, like, I have a Pisces moon, which is water, which means that my clients come to me to help feel and flow with divinity and spirituality. Lori has an Aries moon, so she's here to light people up and inspire them and make them feel like they can accomplish their challenges by yes-anding through them, you know.
So my moon
Thanks for
sign.
being my marketer.
Say that again.
Oh yeah, Pam just got it. My moon sign is Pisces.
Beautiful. So you're like me, you need to help people, not help, but they're going to be attracted to you for your ability to like help keep them in flow, keep them, I always say, flowing through your goals with ease, staying in touch with your divinity and your spirituality, staying in touch with flexibility and the ability to like transition through changes, because Pisces is mutability. It's also like the subconscious collective. It's, you know, oneness instead of the individual. So they're coming to you to feel connected to everything rather than feeling isolated in their human body.
Okay. So Pisces was the first set of dates that I had come to that I liked. So we'll take that as double affirmation. That would be June 11th, 12th, and we're not going to count the 13th because it'll be too early in the morning. And the reason why I was going with Pisces was because, so I have a business astrological calendar thing, and it talks about using it for belief systems work, unconscious mindset programming shifts, creating healthy boundaries, clear communication, intuitive work, meditation, and self-care. And that felt like a good kind of like base to anchor all of this in.
You know your house for your moon real quick? Real quack. Sorry, talking.
Yes, I do. It's all right here. It's just a big long thing. It's something about not the big three. First house. No, oh my God.
You can always tell me later if you want, or we can wait. I'm not in a rush. No pressure.
Which house did you say? Sorry.
For your moon?
I have like, this is just like all Greek to me. I'm sorry. I don't know like houses, moons, blah, blah, blah. Like I know my first house is in Libra.
Okay.
I also have Venus in my first house in Libra. See, I don't know what any of this means. It's just like.
So you probably have your moon in like your 7th or your 8th house or something, or the 6th.
Okay. Yeah.
If you have the actual chart in front of you, it'll have the little symbol of the moon. And then you can go to the very inside of the chart, and there's usually numbers 1 through 12.
Okay. I don't have the actual chart. I just have the write-up. So I'm just going to scroll that. Yeah. I do have the chart somewhere. It's just not in front of me right now. Yeah.
Well, maybe it doesn't matter. I bet Kristen's intuition knows what needs to be known.
Mm-hmm.
I say we just go with the 15th, and that's when you, or the 12th, and that's when you started talking about it.
Of what, June or July?
June.
June.
Okay, so the 12th of June is when I put out my first marketing post?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that feel doable?
Yes. That's a yes. And then I just start popping posts out there every day until
you pop out posts according to when it feels good to you. I don't want you, it's opening up all sorts of things I don't want it to open. I don't want you trying to force yourself to write every day or to post every day, because then you shift out of the energy of serving and how you're serving, and you get into that place of, well, I'm posting because I need to post.
Right.
And we want it to be more of a response. I'm looking at the energy of the next days, and I'm trying to decide. I feel like it would be really fun for you to post according to the energy of the days, but that feels like too much work. Maybe that's something Kelly can create later. Because I'm like, that feels like it needs some direction, and I don't want to create that right now. And I think you know more about astrology than I do. I feel like it'd be cool to have like, okay, the moon is in Aries, so you do this type of post. But what I would more of anchor in is figure out if you have a set start by date, or if it's like a can people just come in into wherever they are, or do you want the first round to be like set, open, and close?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Because I haven't done a bunch of group programs, I don't really know what each would feel like.
Okay.
I would love when, like, if I could do, because we can do realign and shine as soon as they sign up, which is fun for them to have, right? But I don't want it to be like, say they sign up right away and then I'm still marketing it for 3 weeks, and then 3 weeks later they don't remember what really happened in their session.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. Okay.
They'll be fine. 3 weeks is not that long to wait.
I would love that. Yeah, I like the idea of that, because then I'm at least not doing, like, say I've got a good handful of people. I don't want to do like realign and shine, boom, 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 one after the other, if I can help it, because that seems kind of exhausting. But if people are signing up and then getting their realign and shine as they sign up, I like that idea.
So the next Pisces moon that I'm seeing in July would be July 8th, half day through the 10th, but you'd have to start after 2:13 Eastern time, because there's a void moon beforehand. But you can also start with like different energy. You could start July 13th, and that has Aries energy to help people like get started.
Okay. I like Aries. I like fire. I like
the 13. So
yeah, cool.
And fire could make sense with the Phoenix part. So it's like you're starting with that fire, and then the other energy is just anchored in there. So hold on, I want to write these dates down. Okay. I want to write them in a different color pen.
Aries feels like a really natural place to begin a program or anything, like without overthinking it. That seems like a really nice place to start.
Right. Yeah.
I want to thank you guys. I just had this download of realizing, oh shit, my role is to like help people get their own shit started, and I don't have to finish it. So thank you all. That just alleviated like 8 years of pressure.
Perfect. Yay.
Okay. So June 12th, talking about it, starting that, bring in, and July 13th, Emotion Phoenix begins.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. Cool. Fuck yes. Yeah, that feels really good. Yeah. That's the thing with it. Cool. Yeah, and then you said to market for, you said minimum like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like I'm still a little bit unclear on.
Well, if we're starting to talk about it from June 12th and it doesn't start until July 13th, you can market the whole damn time.
Okay.
That gives you a full month, and that gives you time to shift, based off of what you're seeing. I want you to really be feeling into your responses. I would also start I don't feel like repeating the whole thing right now, but go back to Safra's session when you're rewatching and start with those questions. And if you want to post all of them into the group, you can. So like, what do the people need from this? Why do they need it right now? And what is keeping them from what would potentially keep them from moving into the program or moving into this work? And those can be the pieces that you're speaking on. And then you can see, like, is there anything that I want to incorporate in the launch that is, related to one of those?
Okay. Perfect.
And I want to thank y'all, because y'all are helping me so much, because I am, the thing that you are getting when I'm on maternity leave, the client prescription, I am like hashing out the rest of it and making the presentations now. And it's like literally running through this process. You guys are helping me. So thanks. Yeah. I'm like, oh, maybe I want to use this for the launch section, and maybe not, because it could be something bigger. We'll see. It is like a co-working call, but not. And I need to do the next outline tomorrow, so it all comes together, because I'm not doing shit else tonight. Oh. Okay. How do you feel, Kelsey?
So good. Thank you, all of you. I really appreciate all of it.
You're welcome. Okay. Yay. Lori and Kelly, are y'all good? Is there anything major that you need assistance with right now, or can you post it?
Let it go. I'll put it in the group if I remember.
Okay.
I think I'm fine. I think I've shared with you all the stuff that I've been doing, and I think you've seen it all. Like I showed you my 9 transformation points for groundwork up to crown, which is like the first 3 was awareness and deconditioning and play. So for 2 weeks each, I'm going to focus on each pillar. I have all my posts planned for awareness. I'm pretty low energy today, so I don't know that I need anything other than recognition from my support group. But yeah, I think I'm good. I don't think I really need anything. I appreciate your time and your energy.
Okay, send me the is it the Google Doc that I'm thinking of that has the awareness through everything?
You know what? I put everything in a Trello, in my feng shui Trello. I can tag you on there.
Okay. Just do that and poke me on Voxer next week, or not next week. What's today? Tuesday? Today's Tuesday, not Friday. Poke me on Voxer like Thursday.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I see it. I have a notification. Yes. Fabulous. Okay. Because I remember that, but I want to look at it again when I am clear.
Yeah, some of these things, I'll just organize it so you only have to look at the first couple of pillars, but it's just the first 2 pillars is all you need to look at.
Okay, first 2 pillars. No, we do not need to speed May up. I need the rest of May. I need June to like pause. I looked at the list of like, oh, these were all the things I wanted to get done in June. Okay.
Yeah, how are you doing? Do you need support from us at all?
I will just hop on the next co-working call. I told Matt about your offer and I cried last night, so thank you.
I'm excited. It'll be fun to do co-working. I'm happy to host as many as we need. I love them. I get a lot done.
Okay. Well, I will make an effort to hop on any that are hosted, because I have lots of things that I want to be creating, and maybe I just fuck the plan because it's a pandemic and I didn't expect to not have childcare when I created this plan. But
yeah, fuck the plan. Pivot.
But I wanted to launch the self-study on 8/8.
Sounds like a willpower problem to me.
Probably. My willpower tends to get in the way.
Mine
and
too.
it may be that I don't launch. But I'm like, if I don't launch, then it's not like I'm going to be doing the work in August, so it's just going to get shoved back further.
Yeah.
Anyway. But what I probably need to do is just look at everything and see how I can simplify it.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I don't know, Pam. It's not in budget right now. I have to figure out when it is in budget to hire that generator. Because Kelly is the next thing so she can rework spellbinding, sales, branding. But I need to throw Matt all my spreadsheets so he can determine what I need, what the expense budget needs to be for everything, because I can't do the backwards math. But I'm like, 2 team members, tell me what I need for the 3rd. And I guess technically the 4th, because Kelly and a generator. So, I don't know, we will see. It'll likely be after baby, though. Okay, everybody good?
Thanks, Kristen.
You are welcome. I will post this as soon as it converts. It's going to be a little bit because it's long, but it's probably so long I can't even do it straight to the group. We'll probably have to do it straight to YouTube. So it might take a little longer. It'll go up at some point tonight. That's what I will intend. Kelsey, I will send you a picture of the merge notes that I took just to have something anchored in for you in the meantime. Y'all know where to find. Oh, what'd you say?
I said, sounds perfect.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You at least have the pillars and stuff.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if anything stirs up from this, y'all know where to find me. Okay, bye.